Well, West Bromwich Albion in form right now, but Leicester, by their own high standards, are not. Let's get to the Hawthorns then for commentary of a game that might just lead to things changing up at the top of the Championship this weekend. West Brom Leicester with former England striker Dean Ashton alongside Talksport's chief football commentator Sam Matface.
Thanks, Adrian. Well, in the first week of Christmas, Talksport gave to thee football from 4 competitions, 7 live commentaries, 4 round the ground, and the breakfast show with sports royalty. This is the season of goodwill, and Advent has started well for us and you. Last night, England beat the Netherlands in the Women's Nations League on what was a fabulous game. Today's wall-to-wall football, and we unwrap the Euro 2024 draw. And then on tomorrow, there's so many games. You just have to have the radio on with Adrian as they go round the grounds in the Sunday session. And then our gift to you from Monday, Jeff Stelling on the Superstar Breakfast from 6 a.m. with Ali McCoist. And that is just the start of decisive December. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. Let's have some fun. And it all starts here at the magnificent Hawthorns, the highest ground in the country, where the frost on the ground is really making it look a little bit like Christmas. The lunchtime clash between 2 of the big boys in the Championship is live on Talksport. West Brom, who have already given Ipswich a reality check, and Leicester, who after the most consistent start, winning 13 of 14, have only won once since and dropped points at Sheffield Wednesday. Here are the teams. 3 changes for West Brom, 5 for Leicester. Alex Palmer, his 25th Championship start of the season. He's been brilliant in goal for West Brom. Darnell Furlong is the right back. Kipre, Ajayi and Townsend the back 4. There's no Bartley today, it's a big miss. Alex Mullett, Okoye anchoring the midfield with Phillips and Sarmiento on the flanks. Thomas Asante leading the line and Grady Diangana floating around. Mads Hermansen is the Leicester City goalkeeper. Ricardo Pereira, Vestergaard, Fass and Justin make up the back 4. Winks, Ndidi and Dewsbury Hall are the midfield trio, with Casey McAteer, who scored at Anfield in the Cup, Kelechi Iheanacho and Steffi Mabadidi are the 3-pronged attack. Our referee is Tim Robinson. He does play straight quite often in the Premier League, wearing a bright orange referee's top today, just to make sure we can definitely see him. And this is the Championship, folks, so there's no VAR, but we do have all of the players taking the knee before the start of the game. And the indigo and white stripes of the Baggies attacking the goal away to our right will get us off and underway. Live on Talksport this lunchtime in the company of Dean Ashton. And Leicester City all in blue, shooting from right to left. And Dean, you won here with West Ham in one of the years that West Brom were relegated from the Premier League, 2006. The form team and the automatic promotion certainties, sort of. How does this one go?
Well, I think it all depends on how Carlos Corberán and how aggressive he wants his team to be. You know, Leicester second for average possession in the Championship, 13th for West Brom. So you expect Leicester to have the ball, but just how aggressive are they going to press when it goes back to Hermansen? Because they really do take chances and like to play out.
Good ball into midfield by Darnell Furlong, who looked to try and play a 1-2 with Sarmiento and get down the right-hand side, but it was cleared away by Vestergaard and out towards the halfway line. Iheanacho didn't really get hold of the header and miscued it. Goes out of play on the halfway, and it's away for a throw-in to the home team. West Brom superb at home. Leicester have won more points this season on the road than any other team in the top 4 divisions. The half away to our left-hand side, the Birmingham Road end, has bathed in sunshine, although it is about -3 here in West Bromwich. And away to our right-hand side, the Smethwick end, all of the seats in the Leicester end are taken as they look to try and cheer their team to victory. The ball bowled out by Hermansen up towards Winks, and he gets through a gap and runs into opposition territory. It's played out wide towards Ndidi, who's ball through the 6-yard box is a dangerous one, goes right the way through past the West Brom defence, and is picked up by Mabadidi on this left-hand side. Back to Justin, who'll strike it right-footed from the edge of the penalty area over the top of the crossbar, and it's behind and away for a goal kick away to our left. But Wilfred Ndidi, who has been getting more forward this season and bursting into the box, produced a really brilliant ball which no one was there to tap home.
Yeah, he has 3 assists already for this season for Ndidi. Brilliant break by Winks, but I don't know where the West Brom midfield was. Yukuslu and Moet with both out of position. Lovely ball out to the right hand side. McAtee into Ndidi. He puts in a perfect cross. I'd be saying to Mabadidi, that has to be you at the back post that just taps it in. You cannot be lazy and late to that one. That is where you can get 5 or 6 goals a season if you're a wide player. It's just, that isn't good enough, really.
2 and a bit minutes played. You're listening to Talksport. We're live at the Hawthorns on a crisp day with the sunshine and the clear sky as well, making it even chilly. The frost still around in some parts. In fact, even the sides of the pitch actually look a little bit frosty. It was very slippy walking from the Hawthorns rail station earlier, up down the Halfords Lane and into the Hawthorns. Vestergaard has it just in front of the penalty area away to our right hand side. Across it goes to Hermansen, who plays it out into midfield. Winks with a short pass actually, which almost put pressure on Ricardo Pereira, and then turns his way out of trouble, and they play their way through the middle and out towards the right, and Wout Faes. Faes moves up to halfway, got a bit of a dead leg in midweek, didn't he? Wout Faes had to come off at half time as a result of a challenge upon him, but he's back and ready today. It meant that Connor Cody actually slipped to the bench again, and he's only had a handful of appearances so far this season after signing Connor Cody. Here is Dewsbury Hall trying to squeeze past the gap and succeeding. Moet trying to hold off Ndidi, but it's well won by the Nigerian. Back from inside the centre circle to Vass, who's inside his own half. Dewsbury Hall, who looks elegant on the ball, runs laterally across the halfway line and then plays it out to the left, and James Justin, who's back in the team today. Mabadidi tight to the touchline near side, then all the way back to Vestergaard. They do look so comfortable in possession, Dean.
Yeah, I mean, so far with the ball, they've been as crisp as the day is, just whipping it around, and Ricardo, as Vestergaard tries that one over the top towards Ndidi. It's good defending by Townsend, but Ricardo looks to come into midfield from that right back area. Fast goes out wide, and that's where they try to make the extra player in midfield. Sarmiento's playing as a 10 today rather than Diangana, and he's then tasked with going out to one of the centre backs or to Ricardo to make sure they don't play out.
Winks into Iheanacho, who tried to just keep control of it despite the attention from Sarmiento. Scored that belter in midweek, and actually he's kept his place in the team, Sarmiento. He may have missed his winner against Cardiff, but it was one hell of a goal. But what we didn't miss this week was what he said afterwards. He said just before he hit it, he heard his dad screaming at him to shoot, and then he smashed it in.
Brilliant.
His dad was in the stand, and he said he heard him just before he went to shoot. By any measure, it was definitely a stunner. 5 minutes gone, you're listening to Talksport. Here is Wout Faes taking the ball off a West Brom player, then playing it into Justin, chasing that down the left-hand side with Mabadidi, and he's outwitted Darnell Furlong. He's got to the left edge of the penalty area, and now he's in the box place. It's Dewsbury Hall, but he was too quick with his pass into Dewsbury Hall. He almost sort of rammed it against him. There are only 5 yards between them, and it bounces out in the way for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. 0-0.
Yeah, Furlong knows he's going to be in for a game. Mabadidi, brilliant there. Just went as if he was going to go short towards Justin and spun in behind into the space. Great ball over the top from Justin, but just a little lack of courtesy with the pass there towards Dewsbury Hall. Just fired it in towards his shins and said, have a go at that, and just couldn't quite get a hold of it.
Carlos Corberán is already out on the touchline, being very demonstrative down in front of us, making sure his players know, and he's all over them today, as he always is. Long days at the training ground spent trying to work on this team. They've now won 5 of the last 6. Ball played into midfield. Dukoshlu plays it into the path of the winger Diangana, and then it goes further wide onto Darnell Furlong, who's on the halfway line. Infield it goes to Sarmiento, and then it played back towards it's played back towards the middle of the park, and actually it was Brandon Thomas Asante who dropped deep to play it infield. Here on this right hand side, the ball was played out towards Furlong. Furlong tracing it into the right corner, tries to get hold of it, didn't quite manage to bring it down quick enough to play the ball into Diangana. Gets to him eventually, then it goes all the way back to Yokoshlu, and then infield where it's collected by Semi Ajayi, who's back in the team today. Had a bit of an ankle injury and was out for a little while. Semi Ajayi, he's played the ball down the right hand side, trying to find Darnell Furlong, and then it's away by Justin and out on this near side. He's so tall and lean, isn't he, Semi Ajayi? Good footballer and a threat, as you mentioned, in the build up to the game from set pieces. He's already got 2 goals this campaign, the Nigerian.
Yeah, I think he's always a shout for first goal scorer, Semi Ajayi. Just interesting, I talked about Furlong having a difficult afternoon against Mabadidi, but actually if he's given licence, that's, I think, as a fullback, I think you have to say to the winger, well how about, are you willing to defend as well? And if you're given licence by the manager to get forward, you should test the winger in that sense, because most of them don't and they don't want to.
It's Talksport and we're live at the Hawthorns, and it's still 0-0 between two of the big teams in the Championship this season, two of the informed teams in the Championship as well over the longer period. Even if Leicester have had a little bit of a wobble, it's gone out of play over on the far side. Matt Phillips is over there, and it looks as if Casey McAteer is just sticking towards that touchline over on the far side, ready for any sort of out ball. He had to shield his eyes from the sunshine there as the ball threatened to come forward. Justin picks it up halfway into Dewsbury Hall, back to Harry Winks, and Thomas Asante just tries to put a little bit of pressure on him, but not enough, and Fast plays it out over on the far side, travels down the touchline with the ball. Phillips goes across and nabs it, and now a chance for West Brom to break. The ball played into Sarmiento, who doesn't really get hold of it but kept them in possession, gets it back again from Phillips. It's just a bit behind him, and Leicester tidy up just about. And there was an opportunity there to break for West Brom, and they didn't make the most of it, Dean.
No, when those opportunities arise, I think that is where they can be a big threat, especially with Wout Fast being so high up. Obviously playing as a right-hand side centre-back, but when they have the ball, they play as a back three, really, with Vestergaard right in the middle and Fast going out wide. So there was the space there.
Ball sent long out towards the near touchline, and then the header is by Dewsbury Hall. Furlong comes across and tries to get a clearance on the ball, then leaves it and allows it to go out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side.
But again, he's really slow to react there, Mabadidi. You can see the ball's going to be played to Dewsbury Hall, who's made a fantastic run from midfield in between Furlong and Ajayi. He's got to make sure then he's busting a gut to get there and get on the end of a decent flick from Dewsbury Hall.
It's fascinating in the build-up to the game, listening to Adrian. I couldn't believe that the game at Alfreton was postponed with 10 minutes to go. Now, the Alfreton manager actually said that they were happy to play the game, but Walsall weren't. The Walsall manager, Matt Sadler, has said in the last few minutes, as soon as I walked out here, I thought the game would be off. It's rock hard and not getting any warmer. I know they left it as late as possible to see if it could be played, but it looks dangerous to me. It's common sense and it's prevailed on that one. The game was never going to be played as soon as the covers came off. The goal marks were rock hard. Right decision for it to be called off. I don't think Alfreton feel that way.
No, well, of course he's going to say that, and he wouldn't want his team to have to play if it's even a slight risk or a slight advantage.
But 10 minutes before the game is a disgrace, isn't it? Here's Ndidi winning the ball back high up, and it's in towards the edge of the penalty area, and it's put in by Dewsbury Hall. But I don't quite understand why Iheanacho, when receiving the ball from Ndidi, laid it off to Dewsbury Hall, who was in an offside position, because if he hadn't have done that and just turned and shot, then it would have been 1-0.
Oh, you're a striker, man. What are you doing? It was brilliant from Ndidi. Won the ball back. Iheanacho is offside anyway, but still, he didn't know that. Ball played in, edge of the box, no one near you. How has he not turned and taken a strike on, played that into Dewsbury Hall, unless he felt like he knew he was offside? I just don't get that.
It's an odd decision to make, and he's on the chase again now as Phillips had to scurry back into position. Semi Ajayi brings it up over the halfway line, and here is Darnell Furlong for West Bromwich Albion on the attack. The Championship side who in the playoff positions at this moment in time. Interception from Leicester's Wout Fast on the edge of the penalty area, and it's a little bit scrappy, and there's quite a lot of turnovers of possession because I think both of them are interested in trying to press high up and win the ball back quickly. Ball sent long down the left-hand side. Ajayi tidying up on the halfway line. The other thing is both of them end up marking the halfway line, trying to hold a line just in front of that halfway line, which means there's a lot of space in behind if you get the ball right over the top, Duke.
Yeah, you make a great point, though. Out of possession as Leicester win it back again.
High up the pitch, it's taken by Dewsbury Hall. It's on to Iheanacho, does spin this time, tries to get away from Kipre, who dives in. It comes back towards the edge of the box. McAteer smashes it in, takes a couple of deflections and bounces out to Mabadidi. Mabadidi takes it on, right edge of the penalty
penalty area. Pokes it back to Justin, and Justin goes infield where Winks has got it. Bit of pressure here for Leicester City, and then they decide to just lay off West Brom a bit by going back to the halfway line. 11 minutes gone, 0-0 on Talksport. Wide it goes to Justin, James Justin, who plays it to Mabadidi. He in turn gives it to Winks, who's in the midway point of the West Bromwich Albion half, and they're just keeping possession now. Mabadidi again on the left-hand side. Back to Winks. Winks looking for an opening, and then it's back to Vestergaard.
I mean, that was probably the time to pass it there if you're Iheanacho. He tried to turn actually, and Kipre did well, but that was probably the time to pass it, and the one before was the time to shoot. So it's just that decision making.
Good header onto McAteer, who tries to slide it into Iheanacho. Kipre read it and managed to get it clear. Yokoshlu runs into Ricardo Pereira, and it'll bounce for Fass here. And there's a bit of space for McAteer to run into, because that space has been vacated by Townsend into the edge of the area. Poor ball by McAteer. One back on the edge of the D by Winks, and it's cleared away. And a chance for Brandon Thomas Asante to run down the right-hand side. He picks the ball up for West Brom, has to hold out because there's nobody around him, and then brings in Diangana, and slowly but surely they keep hold of possession again. He's stopped in his walking pace now, Diangana, under no pressure, and West Brom have got the ball on halfway. But again, you just saw it once more. They're so desperate to win the ball high up that there's lots of turnovers on and around the edge of the penalty area. But then when there is a chance to break, because the defence is so high, there's so much space to run into.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just about then having the quality to make use of that when you're almost 3v3 or you get a chance to break. But this is the type of game and the type of day where you really find out how good your touch is, because the surface is so slick and bouncy because it's firm, and the way that the teams are pressing, your touch has to be perfect.
Thomas Asante plays the ball down the right. Vestergaard stuck with him, is right up behind him, and it bounces out of play and away for a throw-in. Diangana throws it in quickly. Thomas Asante turns and brilliantly runs towards the edge of the penalty area, and then can't pass the ball on. Just got caught underneath his feet, and it's picked off by Vestergaard, and he goes back inside the 6-yard box to his goalkeeper, Mads Hermansson. 18th appearance of the season, highest save ratio of any goalkeeper in the Championship this season. And we have two of the best goalkeepers in the Championship on show. Alex Palmer, who's kept 9 clean sheets. Hermansson only 3 behind him. He's had to make a lot more saves actually over the course of the campaign, but two very good goalkeepers. If you ask anyone who's been one of the top performers for West Brom, then Alex Palmer certainly comes out high on that list. 15 minutes gone. West Brom 0, Leicester City 0. Here's Mabadidi on halfway. Back to Dewsbury Hall. Mabadidi's got it once again. Tucks it back down the touchline into the path of Justin. It might not be the swashbuckling end-to-end goal fest we might hope from two of the top teams in the division. Between them, they've conceded the fewest goals in the Championship. Leicester have only let in 11 goals this season. West Brom 17. They are miserly.
And you can just see with how condensed the pitch is, like chocolate wafer. There's just so much crammed in the middle of the pitch. It's just that high line from both teams is so aggressive. It means either you've got to try and make the most of a midfield runner, as Dewsbury Hall has just tried to do. That's probably the best way to combat it, is not looking for your first runner, which might be your striker. Your striker comes short, and then your midfield runner goes in behind and catches himself onside with that high line. And at the moment it's Dewsbury Hall who's the one that's really trying to do that.
Dean's always very good with his analogies, but all that one's done is expose your favourite choice of biscuit.
Damn it.
Alex Palmer actually, I think, is struggling a little bit with the low sun which is coming over the Smethwick end away to our right hand side into his eyes.
It's not cool to wear a cap, is it, as a goalkeeper anymore?
Is it not? I don't understand why.
He needs it.
He does, desperately. He keeps putting his hand up over his forearm up over his eyes. Here is Hermansson the other end, after Palmer's kick went travelling right over the halfway line and into the path of his opposite number, who's wearing bright pink today with purple shirts. That is a 90s kick clash, that is. Here down the left-hand side, Justin takes it on. High into West Brom's half. Mabadidi turns the ball infield, finds Harry Winks, who Enzo Maresca told our football editor Jason Bourne earlier in the season could still play internationally for England. Vestergaard just short of the halfway line, Towards the left and James Justin. Lots of space to run into before Diangana engages. A flick by Dewsbury Hall was reached Iheanacho. It wasn't purposeful enough with his touch. He needed to be stronger in his body there to flick that round Cedric Kipre, who did enough to clip the ball towards the halfway line.
He was just a step ahead. Dewsbury Hall, really clever from him. Ball fired in, lovely little cushion touch with the outside of his foot.
Iheanacho receives the ball, swivels, tries to play it down the left channel, well watched by Semi Ajayi. He manages to nudge the ball out towards the near side, and Diang has it now. Into Yakoshlu, back to Furlong, and then Semi Ajayi will have it once again and find his goalkeeper Alex Palmer away to our left hand side. Leicester's dip, which has been a little bit of a dip, included defeats to Middlesbrough and Leeds, and the quality of those two on their day can't be underestimated. I think it was just the failure to beat the beleaguered Sheffield Wednesday in midweek, stranded at the bottom of the table, which sort of just had a few just wondering a little bit about Leicester. That was their first draw of the season. They did beat Watford last Saturday after the international break, and they'll be hoping to extend their lead at the top of the table by beating West Brom here, but it's still 0-0 and we've played 18 minutes. It's been quite a tight encounter so far.
It has, but I think Carlos Corberán will be thinking, I need more really from my front four. Not a single attempt yet from West Brom. Not even looked like creating anything. They've been a bit poor in possession actually. All four have been guilty of giving the ball away. Talked about that touch, it's got to be perfect. It hasn't so far.
Diangana, Sarmiento and Matt Phillips behind Brandon Thomas Asante, who actually did a brilliant manoeuvre early in the game when he ran towards the edge of the penalty area, and then there was an opportunity to lay it off to Sarmiento, and he just didn't have the quality to perform that manoeuvre, and it was cut out and cleared away by Leicester. On halfway, Yakoshlu trying to turn. Indeed, he was sticking to his task. It's played back to Kipre, who started his career at Leicester City, funnily enough. Never played a senior game for them. Back to Furlong, who wraps it in to Sarmiento, but it's well won by Winks, and now a chance to break, and Yakoshlu's had to shut down Ndidi, and he does very well in doing so. It's brilliant defending, just got his body in the right position inside the centre circle.
Yeah, it's not many that shrug Ndidi off the ball. Yakoshlu there, just showing that work in the gym has come off.
But he doesn't eat chocolate wafers.
No chance. He should, though.
Everyone should. No, they're not sure about chocolate wafers. I'm more of a... Do you know those pink wafers? Used to like those.
Oh, they'll do it, was. Yeah.
West Brom 0, Leicester City 0. Later on today, by the way, we're bringing you live coverage from the game between Burnley and Sheffield United. It's live on Talksport 2. Just download our app. You can flick between the two stations. In fact, you can not only flick between Talksport, Talksport 2, you can flick through the Virgin stations, Talk TV, and you can also listen to Times Radio on there as well. So it's pretty good to be able to access all the information, sport, music that you would ever require, really. And remember, from Monday morning at 6 o'clock, Jeff Stelling joins the cast of the Talksport Breakfast Show. He'll be on from 6 o'clock Monday morning with Ali McCoy. Looking forward to that. Here is Darnell Furlong looking for Sarmiento. Good turn, uses his body really well. Plays it infield. Mowat takes over. Moves towards the edge of the penalty area. Now it's out to Diangana, who goes down under pressure inside the penalty area from Mabadidi. The referee just waves away any protest for a penalty, and Leicester now look to bring the ball out, and they break quickly. Casey McAteer sprints away to the right hand side, gets into the opposite half of the field, turns and plays it back in field where it's collected by Ricardo Pereira, who's wandered into that midfield position from right back, but then they slow their attack because West Brom have got their numbers back and they keep the ball on halfway, 0-0.
I think Diangana was looking for it. That was the issue. He took too long, he got the ball, and he actually waited for some contact rather than it actually happening naturally. He was waiting for it and then went down.
Couple of the West Brom substitutes just warming up down in front of us, away to our left hand side. Leicester still on the halfway line, trying to get their passing game going. They are very good in possession. The Baggies actually have beaten QPR, Coventry, Hull, Ipswich and Cardiff on their recent good run. The only team actually to undo them was Russell Martin's past masters Southampton, but that one's really boosted their promotion chances. because a few of those victories have come against teams in and around them. Here's Iheanacho with a ball from the left, which is cut out by Furlong before it can reach Mamadidi, and it's tucked behind into the Birmingham Road end, just on the edge of the penalty area, and it's out for a corner kick, the first of the game for Leicester.
Really good interplay that between the wide players on the left-hand side. Iheanacho coming out, Mavididi letting the ball run, and then spinning in behind. Iheanacho trying to find him with the cross. It's good defending in the end, but that was much better from Leicester in terms of the interchanging of positions.
That was possession and using it really well, wasn't it? Very quickly.
Yeah, with a purpose rather than it being as slow as it has been at times.
Only Southampton enjoy more possession in the Championship than Leicester City, who have a corner away to our left-hand side. It's taken by Dewsbury Hall. It's a poor delivery. It's easily spooned away by Darnell Furlong. It bounces kindly for Leicester, and then Matt Phillips has to react in an emergency fashion inside the D to get it clear over the halfway line. It remains 0-0, and we've played a quarter of the game now here in the Hawthorns in the Championship. On a big day up and down the country. If there are any more postponements, then we'll let you know. The first postponement of the day came in the FA Cup second round. Alfreton were expecting to host Walsall, but Walsall weren't happy with the pitch, and the game was called off 10 minutes before kick-off. They did their best to try and get it on as well, because that was a live television game, wasn't it? Crikey. Ball given away by Hermansen. That's a bad ball into Yokoshlu, picked up by Sarmiento, comes through to Thomas Asante inside the box, skips past two challenges, shoots deflection and goes behind and away for a corner kick. Well, that's the mistake that Hermansen's got away with. He tried to play the ball into midfield and he gave it straight away to a West Brom player. Sarmiento then reacted, played it into Thomas Asante, whose quick feet made a shooting opportunity on the edge of the box, and it was deflected behind and away for a corner.
And that's exactly what they would have been looking towards. That's what they would have been working on, is Hermansen into one of the midfield players, particularly Winks, who isn't the most dynamic athletically. Won the ball back. Thomas Asante, I just thought, took too long.
What happened there? Was it outside the quadrant when Matt Phillips took the corner? I think it might have been. Phillips will have to re-spot it now. It only has to overhang the quadrant, the ball on a corner. It's placed down by Phillips, the Scottish international, once again. Raised his left hand into the air. He's got 5 or 6 to aim at, including Semi Ajayi. It goes all the way through towards Kipre, hits the post, comes back out, and then doesn't bounce kindly enough for Yokoshlu. Goes back in again, in towards that penalty area. Header away by Vestergaard this time. And then it's picked up by Moet, who steers it back into the box. Kipre still up there, heads the ball down, offside flag is up against him. There'll be a free kick, but they've come so close to opening the scoring there, and Kipre, who got the final touch on the ball, hit the post.
I'm not too sure how much he really knew about it. It was a great ball from Phillips. He got a flick from Ndidi, make sure that it went all the way to the back post where Kipre was. He sticks out a left leg, it hits him directly on the shin, bounces down, hits the post. He's so unlucky. He doesn't really know a lot about it. He just sticks that leg out, hoping it goes towards the goal, and it kisses the post and comes back out, and then he was offside when the ball came back in.
It's a good opportunity for West Bromwich Albion for a second goal of the season for Cedric Kipre, who scored against Borough recently. Hit the post, and there was a warning sign there. They didn't defend that set piece very well, Leicester City, I don't think.
No, Ndidi was free and flicked the header off the top of his head, and then it came to Kipre, stuck out a left leg. Unfortunate not to.
Well, there's been a bit of an issue with the television coverage, I think, today, and we've only just seen a replay of I think it's a technical problem they've been sort of toying with. We've only just seen a replay of that Sarmiento penalty shout, Diangana penalty shout inside the penalty area, where he was. He thought he was pushed in the back by Mavididi. We've seen it again. Any change to your mind?
No, because he's waiting for it. That's what makes it so obvious, is that he's waiting for the contact. Rather than him carrying on into the box as he should do, he then stops, waits to be sort of hit in the back by Mavididi, and then he goes down. So that's why I don't think it is a penalty, and a really good decision by the referee.
Would it have been given in the Parc des Princes? Don't answer it.
I think we know.
Don't answer it. Don't answer it. 26 minutes gone. West Brom 0, Leicester 0. Yeah, we were a bit upset by that on Tuesday night live on Talksport. Alan Pardew, Adrian and I were in the Parc des Princes, and we were a little bit, after the work that Newcastle had put in, it felt a little bit like they'd been robbed. But to get a point in Paris is pretty impressive in the first place, isn't it? But it didn't feel like that at the time.
Yeah, I totally agree. It just felt wrong, didn't it? That's for sure. Although Newcastle got absolutely battered, by the way. That seems to have been brushed away.
Well, what do you mean? It was 1-1.
No, but Paris Saint-Germain had an XG of over 4.
Right. How many points do you get for XG?
You know what I'm saying. You love XG.
I do. I downloaded a special XG app earlier. The ball has broken to the left-hand side. Moet's been fouled. It means that they've generated a free kick, West Brom, over on the far side. It's about 6 yards down the side of the penalty area on the left-hand side, and another chance to cross the ball in. And Leicester will want to defend this a little bit better than they defended the last set piece that was sent into the box. Phillips is standing over it. Sarmiento is there as well. Leicester just a couple of yards further out than their 6-yard box. The ball comes in from Sarmiento. It's a good delivery. Yokoshlu is up there and heads the ball goalwards. I think they'll be a little bit disappointed that Vestergaard is nearly 2 metres tall, and yet it's Yokoshlu who gets the header.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you'll try and stop Vestergaard's run, so you put a player actually on him to just try and block him, make sure he doesn't have a free header. Yokoshlu getting up. Vestergaard did enough in the end.
0-0. West Brom against Leicester, live from the Championship on a crisp morning in the Black Country. Hermanson's given the ball away again, straight to Darnell Furlong from a goal kick, and Asante Thomas has got his shot away, and it's straight down the throat of the goalkeeper, and that was another mistake as he tried to play out from the back.
But that's what he is told, and if you watch Leicester, he's told to play into midfield, but if he gets it slightly wrong, that's when you can take advantage. Thomas Asante swivelling on it, and just decent strike. Good handling by Hermanson.
Here is Diangana winning the ball on the right-hand side, out towards Darnell Furlong, as West Brom starting to grow into the game a little bit more now and start to create a little more opportunity here and there against this Leicester side at the top of the Championship. But they've had a few wobbles in recent weeks, and they're just on the back foot in the last few minutes here at the Hawthorns. 0-0 the score. And Leicester, yeah, you're right, they play out from the back, they've got a great system, and when their football is working it looks really good, and occasionally you will get undone because you'll make mistakes or whatever, but these mistakes are coming not because West Brom are pressing particularly effectively. That was just a bit of a mistake from Hermanson. Twice he's just kicked the ball in the wrong direction.
Well, also twice it's not like they've pressed Hermanson himself, they're pressing the ball once he plays it out, so he's got to make absolutely sure with that pass.
Ball sent long down the right by Yokoshlu, and Phillips has got the better of Vestergaard, but didn't manage to get the shot on target. He went for a wild delivery towards the near post. Really, probably would have been better trying to stop that, cut that back and bring it to the 2 on rushers, Sarmiento and Thomas Asante, who are on the edge of the penalty area.
Yeah, I'd have done the same as him though. It just sat up beautifully, about hip height as it drops, and you're thinking, to be fair to him as well, he did actually try and have a look, and he could see that Sarmiento and Thomas Asante wasn't there to play it first time, so he thought, you know what, I'm going to just try this, try and volley it over the top of Hermanson and score a worldie.
Both managers from that Alfreton and Walsall game that was postponed 10 minutes before kick-off are going to be on the programme at half-time. We'll be hearing from them and get their views, and you'll be able to hear it from the horse's mouth. I think the Walsall manager's quite happy about the situation. The Alfreton manager is not. Details to come a little bit later on. The ball picked up by Fass out on the right-hand side. It was supposed to be on Talksport 2 right now. It isn't as a result of that. Here is Ricardo Pereira, who's been dispossessed on halfway. And Leicester just lost a little bit of rhythm here.
Yeah, they have. And, I mean, West Brom are very, very good out of possession. That's what Corberan wants. And I think they've just got a grip of that ball going into Winks and Dewsbury Hall, and they've stopped that flow.
Now, I did think we worried a little bit about how they would be without Kyle Bartley, because he's been a rock at the back for the Baggies in recent times. You look at the games that he starts and the games that he doesn't, and the number of goals they concede goes up, and the points that they yield when he's not in the team goes down. He had started the last 11 games before today, before he picked up an injury or illness. There's no clarification on that from West Brom earlier today, which is a surprise he wasn't in the squad. Away by Alex Palmer, up towards the halfway line. A little nudge in the back on Sarmiento. He returns the favour to Fass and gives away a free kick. And it's a Leicester ball just short of the halfway line. West Brom are pretty sturdy, pretty compact, they're rigid, difficult to penetrate. Leicester, though, even when they haven't found their passing range or it's been disrupted, which it has been in the last 10 minutes by West Brom, do have the weapons that can blast through even the most inflexible of defences.
But this is a genuine test for Leicester.
Oh, it's a proper test.
To come up against a team that's defensively as good as West Brom have been, the most clean sheets, but also to be so good defensively but give the fewest fouls away per match for West Brom. For me, when I saw that, I just thought they must be so organised, just out of possession without actually engaging in a way that you give away free kicks. It's so efficient defensively.
Efficient, I think, is the word that you would associate with West Brom. A minor hamstring strain is the reason for Carl Bartley's absence today, we're hearing, as the ball is clipped clear by Hermansen, who's been unsettled a couple of times already in the game and actually just stuck the ball out of play when it was sent to him just moments ago. Given away by Townsend, picked off by Pereira. I think sometimes you look at Leicester and they pick the ball up just over the halfway line, they get a bit of possession, they slow it down a little bit too much, when really, if they want to open up such a tight, well-drilled defence, they might need to move it a little bit quicker in the final third.
Yeah, and also they don't tend to switch the play very much. It's very much back to the centre-backs, into midfield, back to centre-backs, out wide to the full-backs. It's not, full-back into midfield and then a real big switch across to the free wide player in McAteer and Mavadidi.
Furlong felt he was fouled. Referee played the advantage because West Brom continue with the ball. They're midway inside the Leicester half. While on the left now, the ball goes out to Townsend. He's 2 yards in from the touchline, trying to find Sarmiento, and it's back into midfield, and Mowat, who eventually just steers it into Kipre, the central defender for West Brom. 0-0 the score. Leicester started the brighter. They're slick passing football, creating a couple of opportunities, half chances, but West Brom have grown into the game the longer it's gone on. And they're just retaining possession a little bit better in this latter half of the game. And when they do get it, they're being a little bit more effective, using it a little bit better and being more of a threat. And Leicester have been slightly unsettled by their presence further up the pitch. They've managed to stalk them. Here is Winks out to the far side. It goes to Wout Faes. Later on today, we've got live commentary of Burnley against Sheffield United on Talksport 2. Round the grounds here on Talksport as well. The full-time phone-in from 5:30 as indeed he goes down the right, moves towards the edge of the penalty and then checks back. Casey McAteer isn't there. They go all the way back to the midpoint of the West Brom half. Fast takes over. Later on tonight, Newcastle against Manchester United is live on Talksport at 8 o'clock tonight. One back by Diangana, given to Thomas Asante, spread wide towards the right-hand side. Diangana hasn't got the pace to get there, and Justin just gets in front of him quite easily and nudges it back to the goalie.
Yeah, I mean, that was genuine pace from James Justin there against Diangana. But going back to Leicester there, where indeed he gets it in the right wing position, could cross it with 2 or 3 players. That's a better switch, though.
Vass out towards the near side, taken beautifully by Mavadidi, who runs up to the edge of the penalty area, tries to take on Furlong, threatens to go on the inside, the outside, then hesitates too long and allows them to get back into shape. Justin joining into midfield now on the edge of the D. Now Fass further wide to the right. McAteer back to Fass again. Someone needs to put it in the box, and they're going all the way back to the halfway now Leicester.
Yeah, I mean, again, look, brilliant switch from Wout Faes all the way over to Mavadidi, which has been on all game, either side, to be honest, for one of those players. And then you're right, slows it right down. Mavadidi's got to do it properly, go and take the full back on Furlong.
Slid the ball brilliantly, Westergaard into midfield. Indeed, he finds Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall out to Mavadidi, into the box now. Left-footed shot hits the post after a deflection on Furlong, and it goes behind and away for a corner kick. It's a brilliant move, that, from Leicester. They had sort of toyed with West Brom momentarily, and when the ball came into midfield there, it was beautifully played out towards this near side, onto Dewsbury Hall, and then on to Mavadidi, and his effort wrapped against the post after a deflection by Furlong.
Oh, it would have been incredibly lucky, wouldn't it? Because he's trying to smash this across for a teammate to tap in. Took a wicked deflection and onto the post.
0-0 the score. Both teams have hit the woodwork in the game. West Brom have hit the woodwork quite a lot this season. Ball is at the feet of Mavadidi, whose cross is huge. It goes right the way towards the deep edge of the penalty area, but there was a foul anyway by Vestergaard, and it will be given as a free kick away to our left-hand side. 37 on the clock, and it's West Bromwich Albion 0, Leicester City 0 in the Championship, and we are just 2 days away. Remember, 4th of December, 6 o'clock, Jeff Stelling opens the breakfast advent calendar on Monday. I wonder what guests are going to be behind door number 4.
A couple of great ads I've seen from Talksport with Jeff in burning the toast.
It's Alan's face in that advert that does the trick, isn't it? He's like, brilliant. What? Where's my bacon sandwich? Alan back Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, and we've got loads of great football over the next week, including all the Premier League games in midweek next week. We'll be at them all doing round the ground shows because it's a huge busy week of league action as well. We're looking forward to that. And then next weekend, as usual, loads of live commentaries for you in the normal places. Here on the left-hand side for West Brom, Rikoshlu's won it high up once again, and Winks trying to turn it over, but Phillips has got it. There was a handball there on the way through. That's going to be a free kick to Leicester just in front of their own penalty area.
I mean, we shouldn't be surprised, should we, that it's been as cagey as it has been. The two best defences in the league have shown that so far. They're on top. No proper clear-cut, what you would say, they have to score chances in the game. See both teams hitting the post, but tactically fascinating in the way that both teams are pressing, how condensed the pitch is. No team making the most of the high lines that both teams are playing. And I think a lot for both managers probably to say at half-time.
Yeah, and I imagine it was always going to be a game that was decided by the odd goal. I haven't really changed my mind on that as McAteer comes forward into Dewsbury Hall. Lots of space for Mavadini on the left-hand side. Worked well by Leicester. The shot is deflected again by Furlong, out of play and away for a corner kick. It's another good bit of defending. You just wonder again whether or not Mavadini just needed to just speed up his actions once more, because he was in space on this left-hand side, released beautifully by Dewsbury Hall.
He was in slow-mo, wasn't he? Again, just wasn't alert enough. That ball coming from Dewsbury Hall, nice and quick to him. Needs to get out of his feet quicker.
Here's Dewsbury Hall with the corner. In towards the near post, a better delivery this time. Dealt with by Yakoshlu. Just managed to get up after Justin couldn't get up high enough. And then it goes back into midfield and Winks to Ricardo Pereira. And then all the way back to the halfway line. And they once again will look to build down the left with Justin, who does like playing left full-back. I think he prefers playing left full-back rather than anywhere else. And it goes back to Winks, and in a really tight area, Pereira holds the ball, guides it back to Vestergaard, and then out to Wout Faes. Faes progresses it forward into Pereira again. He then, under pressure, gives the ball straight to Mowat, and it's collected by Thomas Asante, who's trying to shrug off Pereira. No free kick, the ball goes back to halfway. West Brom's last game against Cardiff wasn't perfect. They scored with their only effort on target in the game. They had the fewest number of touches in the opponent's box for the whole season, and that happens to them every now and again, I think. They went through a game against Bristol City earlier in the season where they didn't have a shot on target. And that was their first clean sheet of the campaign, and since then they've laid down 9 more as they've been a little bit stingier, and that has maybe taken the edge off their attacking prowess. But I wonder whether or not, if Leicester City don't end up getting a Iheanacho into the game in the not too distant future, they might turn to the man who loves to haunt the Hawthorn, Jamie Vardy.
The statue will be waiting.
The statue
on the bench.
He's anything but statuesque.
I know, yeah. He might be in this weather.
Now, lovely turn by Iheanacho. He's beaten Ajayi, gets to the edge of the area, left-footed drive towards the far corner. He's missed the target. And he had options left and right as well, but the way he took that ball in and rolled Semi Ajayi, well, he was in all sorts of trouble there. He got far too close to him, and actually the wrong side, and he just turned and got to the edge of the penalty area beautifully with a balletic little turn initially, and then he was away and to the edge of the box, and actually Kipre did really well to come back and try and put him off.
He did, but it was a big gamble from Semi Ajayi to try and win that ball in front of Iheanacho. Took it beautifully on his back foot, sized it up. He had all the time to really think what he wanted to do. He just got it slightly wrong. I thought it was the right idea. Look as if he's going to curl it and then fire it low. and it just didn't come off.
He's made another mistake there, Semir Jain, giving the ball away, and it's led to a cross from Dewsbury Hall, which is tucked behind by Townsend on the edge of the area, and it goes out for a corner kick late on in the first half for Leicester City. 0-0 the score, live on Talksport. Leicester have got a very experienced group of players, and even when they are not at their best, they have been getting results. They won 13 of their first 14 this season. It's a proper tussle this between two very good teams. 4 minutes to go before the first half comes to its conclusion. Dewsbury Hall with a short corner this time to Casey McAteer, who delivers the ball towards the edge of the penalty area, but it's behind all the blue shirts that have moved into the box, and it's cleared away by Phillips, and then Winks sort of dollies one up to halfway, and Hermanson comes out and clears and does well. Mabadini goes up with a header with Ajayi, who wins that one, and it runs loose again inside the Leicester half, and on the left-hand side, Pereira will send it back to his goalkeeper. There's a problem here. Matt Phillips has got an issue down by the touchline, and the referee stopped the game as a result of that.
Not quite sure. He obviously went to close down Hermanson. Whether he's just been, as Hermanson's followed through, he's caught Matt Phillips, or he's overstretched trying to block it. But just the more Dewsbury Hall gets into the game, he's actually, because he knew he was starting to get, marked going a little bit deeper, he's realised that, and he's gone a bit higher. He's gone higher towards Iheanacho, and then almost coming off the front to receive. And he is the one that's so creative for this Leicester City team.
He's created a lot of chances so far this season. 5 goals he's contributed, 6 assists this campaign. I think he's almost enjoying being out of the shadows. The problem here for Matt Phillips is actually going to be one that I think means he has to be taken off, because he went to close down Hermanson, jumped in the air. I think he pulled his hamstring as he did so.
Yeah, I think you're right. Did he give you that clue of holding his hamstring? Is that what it was?
As he landed, just all that little one, when you just can't get back. Oh gosh, yeah. And you can't run that off.
Look, it's definitely a thing players think about. When the weather gets such as this, you have got to be absolutely right.
Oh, he's furious actually. He smacked the ground as it happened, and he's just taken his gloves off and thrown them to the floor as he stalked down the tunnel. They're going to have to make a change, and there's only 90 seconds to go before the conclusion of the first half. And at this moment in time, West Bromwich Albion are down to 10 players because of the injury to Matt Phillips. Leicester not speeding up their play though. They're still doing it at a walking pace, and the ball's out wide with McAteer onto Ndidi. Kipre followed him out there and nudged it out and away for a throw-in level with the edge of the penalty area down the Leicester right. John Swift, I think, is going to come on, and he's been playing quite a lot this season as well.
Furlong's got an issue as well.
Yeah. He's that cold. We've all got our thermals on today. You got your thermals on?
6 layers I've got on.
6 layers. Heated gilet for me for the first time this season. Max and Charlie would love to know that. That's why I didn't tell them before the game. A minute to go before half-time. Ball is out. I'm
still refusing that.
Do you know what? I put it on though. This is a true story. Forgot the battery. So I've got heated gilet, but I can't heat it up. Luckily, the producer's got a spare if I need it. I haven't needed it so far. Bow over on the far side. Again, it's not really going anywhere. And Sarmiento is nudged to the floor by Pereira, just short of the halfway line.
Carlos Corberán's actually just dragged Swift off the bench. Players these days, they're not actually ready to go on if this happens. They have to then put their shin pads on, their socks, their gloves, shirt, their boots, got to tie them up. He just grabbed Swift by the shirt, Corberán, dragged him on, and he's on.
Yes, there was nothing swift about his introduction. And he warmed up. Has he warmed up? That's the key thing, isn't it? Is he ready? Because you don't want to be cold sitting on those benches and then come out here. We've had how many minutes of added time? Yeah, just a 1 at the end of the first half. The ball's gone out of play after a little deflection off. I don't think it did come off James Justin. The referee has given the throw in West Brom's way. It's midway inside the Leicester half. There was 2 balls on the pitch quickly, and eventually Darnell Furlong plays it infield into Yokoshlu, and then it's on towards the right-hand side of Mowat, and then back to Darnell Furlong. Halfway inside Leicester territory, right side, right by the touchline, goes all the way back to Semi Ajayi, and then Alex Palmer in the goal away to our left-hand side. Just a few mere seconds to play in this first 45. Bit of a movement from Alex Mowat, who had a bit of space but didn't turn quick enough, and Winks got back to shut off his approach towards the penalty area. They have got it wide out to the left. John Swift takes it on. He moves up towards only about 10 yards of the penalty box, then turns it back to Mowat, and then it's out wide to Townsend, then on to Sarmiento, and over on that left-hand side. It's a little bit congested. The referee calls halt to proceedings, and it's 0-0 at the break. Leicester don't really draw football matches anymore, but after going through 18 games without managing one this season, they are in danger of 2 back-to-back in the Championship. Both teams have hit the woodwork in that first 45 minutes, but it's 2 good teams that have cancelled each other out so far. Leicester started the brighter, West Brom crept back into it, and then Leicester maybe had the edge in the last few minutes of the match. Finally poised going into the second half, but at the break it's West Bromwich Albion 0, Leicester City 0.
And Dean Ashton, let's talk about Jamie Vardy. It's made for the statue to come off the bench and score the winner, isn't it? It's going to happen, we know it.
Of course it is, of course it is, and especially with West Brom's high line, I think it would really suit him to make that arcing run down the side of Semi Ajayi. But we'll see if they can, if he's still young enough to come off and deliver.
We've had a couple of, the woodwork's been hit a couple of times, but it's been pretty cagey, I think, overall. That's my take on it. You mentioned in the high line very early in the half, and I was wondering, well, which side is going to be able to exploit that and take advantage of that the most, but neither has really.
And it's not even as if they've looked for it. I think Dewsbury Hall maybe twice has tried to make that run in behind, but West Brom haven't even tried it really, which has surprised me because both teams are playing such a high line. I think it's made then for sort of a deeper run, either one of the wide players or one of the midfield players. But I've got to say, I've really enjoyed that half because you've got 2 extremely well coached teams that know exactly what's required in and out of possession, and they are just cancelling each other out at the moment.
Very quick words on Dean Garner collapsing to the ground, wanting a penalty. That was embarrassing, wasn't it?
I'm glad you think the same, AJ. I think it was really obvious. You know, he was genuinely waiting for the contact to then go down, rather than thinking, actually, I'm a good player and I'll just do this myself. I'll get it onto my left foot and I'll curl it into the corner. He's thinking, can I win a penalty? And I just don't like to see it, really.
No, I don't think anybody does, but thankfully it wasn't given, and it remains at half-time, live on Talksport. West Bromwich Albion 0, Leicester City 0. Right now, they should be discussing the first half of the FA Cup second round tie between Alfreton and Walsall. Alfreton of National League North, Walsall, who are struggling for goals just lately under Matt Sadler of League 2, but it was called off 10 minutes before kick-off. The game was due to be live on Talksport 2. It was also due to be on TV as well. 10 minutes before kick-off, it has been called off. There's a bit of a disagreement as to whether the game could have gone ahead, so let's hear from both managers. Speaking to Talksport's Mark Wilson. In a moment, Walsall manager Matt Sadler, but first, Alfreton's Billy Heath.
Billy, disappointment. I could see it written on your face when the referee told you the game was off.
Oh, massive disappointment for everybody. Not just for ourselves and the players, for the full football club. Is the amount of work that's been put in to the people, from the people of Alfreton, from our volunteers. What people don't understand is what goes into getting a game like this on for a non-league club, and it's so important for us as well. It's massively important.
What was the problem today that one team wanted to play and maybe one team didn't want to play?
You've just said that. I haven't. We wanted to play. It is what it is. I'm not standing criticising the referee. I'm from a different era, aren't I? Depends what age group you're in, but dear me, we'd have played on this all day of the week and on a Sunday, but unfortunately the game's changed, and I keep saying this, a lot of the game that's changing now isn't for the best.
Matt came off, disappointing I guess, but right decision?
Yeah, we're all gutted because there's so many fans that have turned up for the game today. I think 1,500 from Walsall. Georgie's hand is shaking and he's got gloves on, and the longer it went on, I'm thinking, when's he going to call this? Because it's quite obviously too hard to play on. It's frozen in loads of areas on. So common sense prevailed. It's just taken a long time to get there.
That was Matt Sadler, the Walsall manager. Now, when the referee called it off, there were boos ringing around the stadium from the Alfreton fans. So let's hear from the referee, Sam Allison.
We're playing the game for player safety. That has to be paramount. So when we got here at sort of 10 o'clock, covers were down. There were certain areas which the ground staff said are prone to being harder than others due to lack of sunlight in the stand cover in certain areas. So we said what we'll do is we'll put some comms message out to say that the pitch coverings will come off at 11:30 so that we give it every opportunity for the game to go ahead. So once they started removing the covers, probably at around 10 to 11, so that they were all off and removed by 11:30, the frost had already started to get in. But at that time, I would say the game was playable and it was ready to be played. The pitch was still soft enough to play. When we then came out to do a warm-up at 5 to 12 o'clock, it had changed drastically in so many areas that it was near enough like an ice rink in certain areas. And I think the danger is where you've got uneven surfaces, where some areas are soft and some areas are really hard and slippery, that the danger is player going into tackles, slipping, whether they fall and they break something, they hurt something, and then you've got that situation of them being out for the rest of the season and the game then turned into a farce. So again, it was that risk versus benefit, and it all balanced against player safety.
Well, there you go. That's the referee, Sam Allison. The home fans not happy. It will be played, of course, at another time. Those home fans were singing, once they'd heard that it was called off, they were singing to the Walsall manager, "You've bottled it, didn't want it." That's their accusation. He would obviously refute that. I can tell you that when our producer, Sal, arrived at Alfreton's grounds, it was around 10 o'clock, and he sent me a photograph of the display on his car, which said that the temperature was -5 at that time. So you can imagine the ground was hard, but you can't ignore the comments from Billy Heath, the Alfreton manager, who said, back in my day, we would absolutely have played on this. And for me, it's what those early rounds of the Cup are all about. It is such a shame. 10 minutes to go, game called off, will be replayed. Not the only game called off in the FA Cup second round today. Blackpool Forest Green has gone, but that's been postponed because of an FA investigation concerning Forest Green Rovers. More to come on that, I'm sure. There are plenty of FA Cup second round ties. We'll keep you in touch with those on Talksport as we take you around the grounds from 3 o'clock onwards on Talksport during Game Day Live. But still to come, the second half of West Bromwich Albion 0, Leicester City 0 from the Championship, live on Talksport.
The world needs more Santas. This Christmas, Coca-Cola is helping people discover their inner Santa through little acts of kindness. When you just want to cozy up indoors, why not make your friend a homemade dinner or their favourite pudding? Take the quiz on the mobile Coke app to discover your inner Santa today. Coca-Cola, real magic.
What would make this the best Christmas ever? Bringing home the biggest tree to decorate, or if the whole family got together? Or maybe a winning lotto ticket? Well, don't miss out. There's still time to get yours. This Saturday, it could be you. Lotto from the National Lottery. Play on app. Account terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
We all know Christmas shopping can get a bit much, so why not enjoy a McDonald's Galaxy Caramel Pie or a Galaxy McFlurry? Or if you prefer to sip your Galaxy, try our Galaxy Caramel Hot Chocolate or Galaxy Caramel Latte. Drinks available until the 6th of Feb. Desserts available until the 3rd of Jan. Drinks not available on delivery orders. Serving times apply. Participating restaurants only.
The Morrison's More Card exclusives just keep giving this Christmas with 100% British rump steak from our butchers on Market Street for just $9.99 per kilo, down from £17 per kilo. More compliments to the chef. Yeah, that's you. Morrison's to shop at Morrison's. Majority of stores subject to availability. Excludes online. Offer ends 3rd of December.
Sparkling blush like Bird and Hand. They're all £10. Perfect gifts to the wine lovers in your life. Or just for you. Because when the offers are this good, it's okay to give yourself a little present too. With selected fine wines for £10 a bottle, it's time for the good stuff. Waitrose. Selected lines and stores subject to availability. Prices may vary in Channel Islands. Little Waitrose concessions.
It's the Paddy Power Football Supporter Support Line. We're talking to Burnley fan Graham. What's up, Graham?
Well, it's Christmas, Paddy. The midweek fixtures, the quick turnaround between games, the feast of football on Boxing Day.
Sounds terrific. Why so glum?
Well, it's always Christmas parties, Paddy. They make it very hard to watch all football.
The Premier League is non-stop this December, so make the most of it with Paddy Power's Bet Builder offer. Get money back as a free bet if one leg of your Bet Builder lets you down. Paddy Power.
Pre-match online bets only. Min 5+ legs. Min total odds 3-1. Max free bet varies from £1 to £50 and is valid for 7 days. T's and C's apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
O2's Black Friday deals are now on. Get great deals on phones, tablets and SIMs. Like saving £288 on the Samsung Galaxy A54 with 1 gig of data and £10 up front. Offer ends 6th of December. Search O2 Black Friday. O2. See what you can do.
£8 monthly saving over 36 months. Credit by Telefonica UK Limited. Authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Eligibility and terms apply.
What a team! What a team!
And to think these lads have never played together and probably never will. That's the beauty of LiveScore Bet squads. It's free to play and all that counts is putting the ball in the back of the net.
And putting some cash in your pocket.
That too, Steve. LiveScore Bet squads. Every time they score, you score. Up to £50 in cash. Deposited account required. Players revealed Monday to Friday, max 5 per round. Withdrawable cash amount per goal varies. T's and C's apply. Bet responsibly. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Be a champion for the day at Team Sport Indoor Karting. Save 10% with the code GET10 at team-sport.co.uk.
This is epic.
Yes, it is, Eric. William Hill's back with another epic weekend. And we're celebrating with our biggest ever epic odds. At least one shot on target in the Newcastle v Man United match. Was 1 to 500, now evens. Offer available from 7 a.m. Saturday. Online, on the app, or pop into one of our shops. Now this is an epic weekend.
Who you got?
William Hill. It's who you play with.
Bet up to £5, singles only. Available from 7 a.m. Saturday. Online and in-shop for Plus customers. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Game day.
The unstoppable force of live football.
Game Day Live
on Talksport.
Yeah, it is Game Day Live on Talksport, where we're going to bring you this second half of West Brom 0, Leicester 0 very shortly. But let's continue to look ahead to this weekend's Premier League action with Super 6.
The Talksport Match Predictor with the Super 6 Christmas rollover. Every Saturday until Christmas, the jackpot will roll over if it isn't won, so it could reach a whopping £1 million. 18 plus, terms and conditions apply.
Well, each week we're discussing games that are featured within Super 6. For those of you who aren't familiar with Super 6, it's a free-to-play football game where you can win huge jackpots through your own knowledge. Simply predict 6 correct scores to win the jackpot. Each Saturday until Christmas, the Super 6 jackpot will roll over if it isn't won, meaning it could reach a whopping £1 million before the big day. This week, it's £250,000. Even if you don't manage to get 6 correct scores, there's more ways to win, though. Dean, can you quickly run through the final 3 games on the list? We'll start with Arsenal at home to Wolves.
Yeah, I can't see anything other than an Arsenal win, but having not failed to score since the opening day, Wolves, I do fancy them to get a goal, so I've gone 3-1 to Arsenal.
How big a role will VAR play? No, we won't go into that. The highest predicted team of the weekend is Arsenal. Over 950,000 players backing the table toppers to beat Wolves at the Emirates. Meanwhile, Brentford host Luton. What's your Super 6 prediction for this one, Dino?
I just think the home form is too good for Brentford. I fancy Mbeumo to get at least 1 goal. I'm going to go for Brentford 2, Luton 0.
That 2-0 scoreline is the most popular prediction of the round this weekend with Super 6 players, with over 400,000 entrants predicting that result. And finally at 5:30, Nottingham Forest hosting Everton.
They've been slightly more inconsistent at home, Forest, this season, and Everton as many away points as Liverpool, Villa and Brighton. So I'm going to go for an Everton win, 2-1.
Over 300,000 of players are on a 1-1 draw this weekend for that one, while over 300,000 are backing an Everton win like you. So after commentary of West Brom Leicester, I'll take you around the grounds with all the goals as they go in from all the 3 o'clock games in the Premier League, EFL and FA Cup here on Talksport, while over on Talksport 2, exclusive commentary of Burnley against Sheffield United from here at Turf Moor with Adam Bridge and Mickey Gray. It's all thanks to Super 6, and don't forget Super 6 has set up its very own Talksport League. Sign up on the Super 6 website or app using the code TALKS6. That's TALKS6, where you can also win £100 for topping the league every single round. And remember, get those predictions in by 3 p.m. today. 18 plus, terms and conditions apply.
The Talksport Match Predictor with the Super 6 Christmas rollover. Predict 6 correct scores for the chance to win £250,000. Get your entries in by 3 p.m. today with Super 6. 18 plus, terms and conditions apply.
Don't forget the Lionesses came from 2 down at Wembley last night to beat the Netherlands 3-2. It's live on Talksport 2, 70,000 fans there. It keeps England's hopes alive in the Nations League group. Tuesday night against Scotland at Hampden, live on Talksport 2. We've got Newcastle Man United live tonight on Talksport, 7:30 our coverage starts. And don't forget the draw after Burnley Sheffield United on Talksport 2, the draw for the Euros, England, Scotland and possibly Wales. We'll find out who they're going to play next summer in Germany, 5 p.m. Talksport 2. They'll keep you updated during the game day phone-in on Talksport Talksport as well. But Dean Ashton at the Hawthorns, goalless so far. We've talked about how Leicester can bring on the statue Jamie Vardy for the second half and possibly change things. What can West Brom do?
Well, I talked about Madja before the game, that I thought he would be better suited anyway to play as that lone striker role, and I just think he would bring more in terms of holding the ball up and allowing Diangana, Sarmiento and now Swift to get closer to them. Whether he does that, I'm not too sure, because he really does like Thomas Asante, especially out of possession. I can't see the manager particularly making a change too early. I think because it's been so cagey, they'll both be happy, I think, to keep probing. And it might just take something special, actually, to determine this, or a set play. It could just be one goal.
We'll see. West Brom 0, Leicester 0. Stand by for the statue at some point in the second half. Then to the Hawthorns with former England striker Dean Ashton alongside Talksport's chief football commentator Sam Matchface.
Just 35 miles separate these two from east to West Midlands. And Leicester's record at the Hawthorn is absolutely sensational. It's one of those grounds for them where it just always seems to click. They've won each of their last 5 visits. Maybe it's the altitude. We're certainly feeling the altitude today. Yeah, feels like we're some sort of Everest expedition. It's very cold up here at the back of the main stand. We've been watching John Swift actually go through his paces for about 2 or 3 minutes actually. The rest of the West Brom players haven't come out yet, but he's been out on his own for quite some while because he was a late substitute at the end of the first half, and they're just making sure that he's properly vigorously warmed up.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't ready, was he, to come on when Phillips tweaked his hamstring. The only thing he had was the water bottles that the staff are providing for the substitutes, old-fashioned water bottles, hot water bottles as well. But no, he's come out, gone through the sprints, and to join his team who have now come out.
It'll be interesting to see how where he plays, actually, bearing in mind that over the course of the season he's played a lot as a false 9. He's been their top creator so far, loads of chances from set plays as well. Their set piece delivery will probably be better with him in the team, that's for sure. And they're about to get underway in the second half here, hoping to go up into 3rd position with a couple of goals and a victory over Leicester. Leicester hoping to stretch their lead at the top of the table with a win here. Jamie Vardy still on the bench as we start the second half. We've got the full complement now, just about, and all of the players, you can see how cold it is because they're moving around, desperately trying to keep warm before we get underway, and those Leicester players have been out there for a little while now. These two usually meet and have usually met in the Premier League. I mentioned those last 5 visits, most of them have come in the Premier League. This is actually the first meeting between the two in the Championship in 13 years. It's a 3-0 win for West Brom in April 2010. They were heading to the Premier League that year. Maybe they will be again. We're underway at the start of the second half, live on Talksport from the Hawthorns in the Championship. Later, Burnley Sheffield United is live on Talksport 2, and Newcastle against Manchester United live tonight from 8 o'clock on Talksport. And I think, is it Newcastle, Joe Shannon and Stuart Pearce tonight doing the commentary this evening? I wonder if they've flown up. Oh no, there's no flights. Do you think they've got separate coach each, maybe, like the Manchester United players? A 3-hour journey. Oh, it's terrible for them. They have to fly. A 3-hour journey is actually not that bad to drive from Manchester to Newcastle. It isn't that bad at all. Here is Iheanacho down the right side, collected by Casey McAteer. No changes at half-time for either of these two teams, apart from that change just before the break, which John Swift obviously came on for Matt Phillips, who was injured. So it's Alex Palmer, the goalkeeper, away to our right, in indigo and blue and white shirts, attacking the goal to our left. The West Brom outfield looks like this: Furlong, Ajayi, Kipre and Townsend. Mowat holding in midfield alongside Lukoshlu. And then it's Swift behind, Sarmiento, Thomas Asante and Diangana. Leicester City in all blue, attacking the goal away to our right in the second half, where their fans are housed. Have Hermanson in goal, Pereira, Vestergaard, Fass and Justin, Winks and Didi, Dewsbury Hall, McAteer on the right, Mabadidi on the left, and Iheanacho through the centre. Leicester defending at the moment as West Brom try to come down the left with Townsend. Townsend gets to within about 15 yards of the penalty area and has to steer it back. Swift, and then into the path of Mowat, and then Mowat nudges it on. It goes back to the goalkeeper Hermansen, and he clears upfield. He's got the sun to deal with in the second half. It bounces through via Dewsbury Hall onto Winks. The first time ball out to the left, stretches Mavididi. The offside flag is up anyway.
It has Port from Harry Winks. He's trying to make out that it was Mavididi's fault for the run that he'd made, but it wasn't. It was just a poor pass from Winks, which is out of character for him.
Yeah, he's got a great passing record in this particular division. Dewsbury Hall looks up as he turns the ball over, and again, just a little bit slow at Leicester City. I know that Enzo Maresco had a little bit of a session with some of the local journalists recently, and he was talking about the style of play, that need to retain possession and keep passing the ball, but he wants them to pass it a little bit faster as well, and sometimes he believes that they can look a little bit boring in possession because they don't move the ball quick enough. He wants more of that.
Well, he's not seen much of it today. It's been very much a methodical build-up from Leicester. Early on, Mavididi was in the game, but since then, McAteer and Mavididi have hardly seen the ball, which, considering they're free most of the time for that big switch, that's what surprises me, that they haven't used that a bit more.
I mentioned earlier about this being the first meeting in the Championship for 13 years, 2010. West Brom winning 3-0. James Morrison, Robert Corran scored that day. Robert Corran got 2 goals. I think that's 15% of his total league goal haul for West Bromwich Albion. Went on to score more for Hull City. Here is Mavididi on the left-hand side trying to cut into midfield, but it's congested in that midfield area and it breaks down once again. West Brom could have released the ball out to Sarmiento, who's now operating wide on the left in the absence of Phillips, but didn't quite manage to get it out to him. It's won by John Swift, who links the play well, goes back via Furlong and out to the right, and now an opportunity for Diangana to move forward. Swift takes it on. He's about 10 yards outside the box. Back to Diangana once again on the overlap on the right side. Furlong with a low cross into the box, steered away, comes back to the edge of the area. Diangana's shot is flicked over the top by Fass, and it's out for a corner kick. His effort from the edge of the box actually was flicked off the top of the forehead of the Belgian, who stopped it from going anywhere near his goalkeeper.
Yeah, terrific overlap from Furlong, testing Mavididi, who didn't follow him. When the ball came out, it was a really crisp side foot from Diangana. I think this really would have tested Hermansen, but about fast getting his head on it and flicking it over the top.
5 minutes into the second half, West Bromwich Albion 0, Leicester City 0, live on Talksport in the Championship. Quick corner taken by Moa into Swift, whose effort into the box is deflected and punched away by Hermansen, and it just sort of looped up in the air and he had to be alert there, and he did a proper haymaker to get it out to the far side and out for a throw to West Brom deep inside Leicester territory.
Yeah, just switched off slightly there, Leicester, allowing that short corner. Swift looking to play that in with the big deflection. Many goalkeepers now don't even bother thinking about catching it, just punching that away.
Throwing over on the far side to be taken by Furlong. He launches it to the near post. Vestergaard does get up this time and manages to head the ball away. Furlong recycles it, gives it to Townsend, and then in the centre circle, Moa has dropped deep to pick the ball up and play it forward. It's not a great pass. It was more of a hit and hope, and it was cut out easily by Justin, and now Leicester can come on the spin and go on the counter-attack. And again, Mavididi starts running down the left-hand side. There's space to run into, and the Leicester fans are furious about it because he turned around and passed it backwards.
It's just frustrating to see Winger, with what the talents that he's got and the attributes he's got, to just decide, I don't want to take the fullback on 1v1. That's why, you're right, those Leicester fans over to our right-hand side don't even have to imagine what they were saying.
It's probably best that we do imagine it rather than I tell you, because I'll get taken off the air, I think. Ball sent over the halfway line, down the right, flicked into the air by Townsend, who was under pressure, and it breaks to this near touchline, and it's away for a free kick to West Bromwich Albion, the home side, 6 minutes into the second half. When do you think about bringing on Jamie Vardy if you're Enzo Maresca?
I think once you really maybe sense that the press from West Brom has just started to wilt, that could be the perfect time.
Oh, it's a lovely ball through the left channel onto Townsend, who's making a break for the 18-yard box, but Wout Fass has done brilliantly and come and shut him down. And the ball's won on this near side by Ndidi off Alex Moa, who Tim Robinson says was fouled. I'm not sure the Leicester bench agree with that, and the fourth official, Jeff Eltringham, is getting it in the ear from Enzo Maresca.
But again, either side. It was Furlong moments ago. This time it's Townsend. That could be a way of West Brom overloading, especially with Ricardo Pereira when he does drop into that midfield area.
Good ball out towards the right. Justin thought he got there, and well, just before it dropped to the feet of Diangana, out came Hermansen and grabbed the ball just short of the penalty area, and he is able to clear. 52 gone. West Bromwich Albion 0, Leicester City 0. Dean Ashton, part of our commentary team here at the Hawthorns this afternoon. Burnley against Sheffield United is live later on today on Talksport 2, and then tonight we've got Newcastle against Sheffield United live on Talksport after the full-time phone-in with Jamie O'Hara and the Gab father, Gabby Agbonlahor. And tomorrow the Sunday session around the grounds in what is a seismic day in the Premier League. Manchester City against Tottenham later on in the day, and Adrian will do the programme from there. And then by the end of the night we'll have it all wrapped up on Premier League All Access, which will be available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Perry Groves and I with Jason Cundy this week, reflecting on all of the weekend's Premier League action, Premier League All Access, every single Sunday night, Monday morning, and Thursdays to preview the action as well from wherever you get your podcasts. Ball out wide on the Leicester City left. Mabadidi infield to Dewsbury Hall, then back to the halfway line. Again, too much slow, ponderous football from Leicester when they need to move the ball quicker if they're going to unseat this rigid, stubborn West Bromwich Albion defence.
I mean, they're the kings of the pop pass, aren't they? The one that gets popped into one player and it just pops it straight back.
Ball over the top for Vestergaard, and he chases that pass into the right channel. Indeed, he turns around to Vestergaard and says, that's the wrong ball, play it out wide. McAteer can go chasing after it, and then we'll break into the box from there.
Yeah, but I think that is the right idea when they do those passes, and it should open up, is then to play it a bit longer and a bit quicker. But it is those pop passes that I talk about. It's, it goes from Vestergaard into Inks back to Vestergaard, and they just don't go anywhere. They're trying to sort of get the West Brom players out of their position, but there's not enough snap and crackle.
Yeah. Here he is with the analogies again. Rice Krispies your favourite cereal?
Don't know what you're talking about.
Ball clipped down the left-hand side, and Mabadini now tries to sprint. Ajayi goes out to try and shut him down. He gets to the byline and plays the ball in towards Dewsbury Hall, whose left-footed ball through the 6-yard box is brilliant, but again there's no one there to tidy it up and push it home. It goes to the far post. It was about 2 foot away from McAteer, but that was much, much better from Leicester. Played down the left. Mabadini gets the beating of the defender Furlong, plays the ball into the left channel where Dewsbury Hall chases, moves into the box, low cross to the 6-yard area. There's no one there to tap it home.
It was a brilliant run as well from Dewsbury Hall, just off the back of the midfield, in down the side of Semi Ajayi, gets into a great area. I think it's his fault, actually. Him and Ndidi had an argument after that. Ndidi was saying, you needed just to clip that up for me to go and head it. McAteer couldn't get there because of the pace on the cross from Dewsbury Hall. For once, he got that slightly wrong.
Well, there's a problem for Darnell Furlong, who had a problem in the first half but has got a bigger one now. He's going to be replaced by Eric Peters, I think, in the next few minutes. Ball is out on the wide left, collected by Justin. Justin's ball towards the edge of the box takes a deflection off the hand of Diangana, and that's going to be a free kick to Leicester, about 7 or 8 yards back from the edge of the penalty area, that they're attacking just left of centre.
Yeah, they've been dominant so far, haven't they, Leicester, in this second half? And plenty of the ball.
Haven't tested Palmer yet.
No, they haven't created, the chances that the possession warrants, but they have been dominant, that's for sure. It's West Brom have been in their own half pretty much for all of this second half so far.
Free kick to be taken by Dewsbury Hall, and Ndidi, Fass, Justin, Vestergaard and McAteer all at the back posts. Here Nacho is just standing behind the wall. It's just a little bit left of centre, this, and it'll be taken by Dewsbury Hall, flicks it towards the near post, takes a deflection off the wall and goes behind and away for a corner kick. And the Leicester fans just trying to urge a little bit more urgency out of their team, start to encourage them to just up the ante a little bit. 57 gone on Talksport. It's still goalless in the Championship. The ball sent towards the near post. It's headed away by for the defender Furlong, and then picked up by Winks, who hoists the ball into the air. That'll be won by Yokoshlu, and then taken down by Swift, who turns away from Ndidi, plays it back to Townsend, whose crossfield ball is going to be cut out here by Mabadidi, who turns it round and runs back at the West Brom defence, and again stops, checks back and goes to halfway, and you can hear the groans. They're coming from the Leicester fans, who are about, 70 yards away from us, behind the goal away to our right?
Well, also, if you recognise that your opponent's maybe struggling with a slight injury in Furlong, keep going at him.
Out the wide right once more. It's taken by McAteer, who thinks he's been fouled by Townsend. He kind of bought that a bit. Not that Leicester will mind too much about that. They get a free kick wide in the right position. And McAteer is going to... Who's going to take it? Oh, Dewsbury Hall's now going to come across and take it. And it's going to be a free kick for Leicester in the right wing position. It's about 3 yards in from the right touchline, and it's almost level with the edge of the penalty area. And this will be a good in-swing of this for Dewsbury Hall. If he can send this into that sort of corridor of uncertainty, right on the edge of the 6-yard box, and someone follows it in, there could be problems here for West Brom. 58 on the clock. Dewsbury Hall, 2 hands in the air, approaches the ball, left-footed, curls it into that area. It's a bit too high though, and it's grabbed by the goalie.
Yeah, too easy. Well done, Palmer, though, came and claimed. But when you've got, Vestergaard's up out fast, you've got to whip that a bit lower to give the chance of the player that's going to get in front of the goalkeeper just to be able to glance that in.
Well, I wonder when Enzo Maresca starts to get a little bit more concerned. I think he's going to make a substitution in the next few minutes. I don't think it's going to be Jamie Vardy. When does he start to worry about the run? They started the weekend 8 points better off than Burnley were at this stage of the season a year ago, so they're in great form. They were in such rampant form. At a current calculation, they're on course for 110 points this season, which would be miraculous. It would eclipse the record set by Reading in 2006. Not that Reading fans are happy about that. They haven't got much to hold on to at this moment in time, and they would like to hold on to that record. And that's how well Leicester started this campaign. But it has just slowed up a little bit in recent weeks. 2 defeats before the international break, a draw at Sheffield Wednesday, and now there's a chance for Diangana over on the right hand side, but he's taken the ball out of play, and it's gone straight out for a throw-in over on the far side.
I mean, obviously it was pretty fresh and pretty new, Enzo Maresca, and the way his team was playing early on. But you've got good coaches in this division, and they will have looked at ways to combat it. And what teams will want is to slow Leicester right down, not allow them the time to fizz that into midfield and turn and play Dewsbury Hall. It's about denying that space, certainly for those midfield players, those top midfield players. And teams are going to do that. You've got to find a way now of getting around that. And I don't think they've used the width as well as they could have done today. I mean, like now, McAteer's got so much space if that had been switched quickly. Instead, it's slow and back into midfield and popping it into Winks and back again.
Yeah, Vestergaard then has the ball, has the opportunity to swing it out wide to McAteer. Instead, he takes 7 touches and plays it left into the full pack.
Yeah.
Hermansen.
And even if your own manager's talking about playing it quickly, but it's having that bravery sometimes, I think, as a centre-back, because they're the ones that have got most of the ball.
Justin manages to outmuscle Diangana, smuggles it down the left side into Mabadidi, who looks to try and take on Yokoshlu and actually tries to twist in field, but didn't manage to get away from the second of those West Brom players that had gone out to stop him. It's cleared away by Furlong, and now a change. Mabadidi coming off and Fatawu coming on. I don't think we're too surprised about that.
Not really. I don't think he's made the most of the opportunity today. Mabadidi, the odd glimpse here and there. He obviously deflected his shot that hit the post. Fatawu, another player that's impressed when he's played for Leicester this season.
Now he's come out towards this right hand side now. McAteer's gone over to the left. Fatawu, a left footer, he want to cut in on that right hand side and try and get his crosses into
the box. Be interesting to see how they operate with a slightly different flavour. Here is Fatawu, who controls the ball well, draws a foul, wins a free kick inside the centre circle within seconds of coming off the bench. 62 gone, 0-0. On Talksport, there's a yellow card here for Connor Townsend on this near side, is it? It is. And it's going to be a yellow card. Or is it Mowat for stopping the quick play? No, I think it is. Is it both of them? I think he did Townsend first and then Mowat. Either way, Mowat's definitely been booked second. Yeah, and Townsend, both of them have been booked.
Yeah.
Ajayi sends the ball forward, and then there's a foul over on the far touchline on Diangana by James Justin, and it's back with West Brom again. And there's just a little bit of hush amongst the West Brom support because their team haven't really created anything in this second half, and the best of the efforts, really, not that there have been too many, have come in their territory from Leicester City, but again it's been quite cagey, and both these two have cancelled one another out. The two high presses have stopped the teams playing out with any fluidity from the back. Leicester like to do that more than most, but they're really good at high pressing. West Brom too. John Swift has just broken that though and found Townsend, who's coming to midfield. Now's a chance to switch it to the far side, but he's right behind Diangana and floats towards the far touchline. He just about keeps it in, scurrying backwards. It comes in on his left foot, plays it back to Yokoshlu, into the middle of the park, and now Mowat, and Mowat then on further to Jeremy Sarmiento. Sarmiento looks to take on the fullback, goes one way then the other, stops the ball, then produces a cross into the box, is over Thomas Asante's head, comes back to Yokoshlu, and then is collected now by Swift. Back to the right side, and Yokoshlu again into Mowat, who's surrounded by Blues jerseys, and they've won it back now, Leicester, and trying to turn it around before Yokoshlu sticks out a foot and pokes it away from Dewsbury Hall. Wide it goes, onto the edge of the penalty area. Swift now trying to skip the ball into the box. He goes one way, then the other. He's being marshalled by McAteer. He's still got hold of it, now down by the corner flag. Comes back infield to Furlong, and then onto Yokoshlu. There's a lot more space for Kipre now, who's going to shoot from 30 yards and dolly it up beautifully. There was an ooh, but I'm not entirely sure why, because that was almost like a chipped pass back to the goalkeeper Hermanson.
Oh, he got sucked in by the crowd, didn't he? Kipre, he heard the shoot and he went for it. And you're right, it was an easy task for Hermanson. But again, a couple of times they got the ball wide there, West Brom, and just didn't deliver when it was needed.
Pereira, and there was space for Dewsbury Hall, but he couldn't find him. He goes out wide instead to Fatawu, and Abdul Fatawu just overran it slightly, then stabbed it forward. He's collided with Sarmiento, who's gone down as a result of that, and the ball is spilt to halfway. It's picked up by Fass. The referee has allowed play on here. Vestergaard forward. Ricardo Pereira has it. He looks up, tries to float it towards the edge of the box. Dewsbury Hall underneath it, and across comes Furlong and heads it back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, really good covering from Darnell Furlong, because it's that run again.
Good run by Diangana, who body swerves away from Winks on halfway, then moves into opposition territory, tries to feed Swift. He was tugged back there, and it's going to be a free kick. Harry Winks penalised just in front of the centre circle, and West Bromwich Albion now threatening to have a bit of a spell. 65 gone, West Brom 0, Leicester 0.
Yeah, good turnover from West Brom. Diangana away. I think it's actually Ndidi that just gives a shoulder to start with, but Ricardo Pereira has been booked for something he's just said to the referee. It was just a nudge from Ndidi before the challenge from Justin on Diangana. Right decision.
Pereira having a word with the referee. He is the first Leicester player to go into the referee's book as we approach the final quarter of the game, with it finally poised at 0-0. The game on a bit of a knife edge. There's a high line here from Leicester City, and it's an opportunity for Mowat to drip the ball over the top and see if someone can execute it. He goes square instead to Townsend, and then they go wide, and he almost gives the ball away to Sarmiento. Wasn't expecting it, so it bounces back to Yokoshlu, who's now on the edge of the area, 10 yards outside the box. It's played into Sarmiento. He's tightly marked by Ricardo Pereira, and they go back to the halfway line. such a reluctance to put that into the area. I mean, you got your two centre-backs up, that's a better ball.
Down the right channel, looking for Thomas Asante, who's looking to take on Justin, and he's beaten him for pace and strength. Pulled the ball back to the 6-yard area. It cannons off Vestergaard, then takes a deflection off the Leicester body and bounces behind and away for a corner.
Lovely footwork from Thomas Asante down that right-hand side, past James Justin. You've just got to get your head up there. At that last second, get your head up, spot the run. Instead, he just flashes it across without looking, straight into Vestergaard.
Top scorer last season for West Bromwich Albion, Thomas Asante. He's got 5 goals this campaign, his last against Coventry. Here's the corner from the right side, flicked on by, Furlong tried to flick it on, but it wasn't a great delivery, and it was eventually cleared by McAteer. Back in it comes from Yokoslu from deep, a flick on by Sarmiento. It hits someone inside the box, and it's cleared away by Leicester, and they've got an overload here if they move the ball quickly. On the left hand side, McAteer coming forward. Iheanacho is arriving. It's flicked into the air by Townsend. It goes behind and away for a corner at the other end.
Yeah, nearly, very, very nearly from McAteer. Brilliant break from Leicester from that West Brom set play down the left hand side. McAteer just looking to float that in with his left foot into Iheanacho. Good covering from Townsend though, just to get that header away.
Here's the corner kick taken short again, and Dewsbury Hall dispossessed before he can get across him by Sarmiento, and it's back to halfway once more. It's been a little bit disappointing on the old set pieces, hasn't it, Dean?
Yeah, it has. It has. I think the halfway line's had the most touches in the game.
Dear, oh dear. We've got the team news coming up in just a few moments from our 2 o'clock kickoffs. Arsenal, our 3 o'clock kickoffs were Wolves against Arsenal, Brentford, Luton, Burnley against Sheffield United. We'll keep them all at the forefront of your minds in the 3 o'clock kickoffs as the ball goes into the box on the right side by Fatawu, looking for Dewsbury Hall, headed out by the West Brom defence, and it goes out for a throw-in down by the corner flag away to our right-hand side. Here is Ricardo Pereira to take it. Ndidi comes short, nudges it back to Wout Faes. He's got Vestergaard available to him. Winks on the half turn though, has it, slides it into Iheanacho. Iheanacho is challenged by Semi Ajayi. Dewsbury Hall can't win it. It's won by Justin, but breaks kindly for Sarmiento. And West Brom just in front of the centre circle shuffle the ball back towards their goalkeeper Alex Palmer, who kicks clear high into the afternoon sky, the crisp afternoon sky here at the Hawthorns. The temperature's got up a little bit. It might even be above freezing now, you never know. But the game's still deadlocked at 0-0. Winks does well to win the ball. Popped on by Ndidi, onto Iheanacho, back to him. Lovely curl pass with the outside of his boot to Fatawu on the edge of the area. Ndidi wants it back again. He goes towards the byline, steers it through the 6-yard box, saved by Palmer, pushed away, and then hacked clear by Townsend and out towards this near side. The best move of the match by Leicester City. Faes tussling with Thomas Asante on halfway. The ball breaks kindly for Pereira. They want a foul. They're not going to get one, West Brom. Thomas Asante and Swift thought they should have had a foul. Wasn't given. The game's then stopped for a head injury for Faes anyway. And Leicester had the ball.
Oh, that's commitment for you though. Wout Faes grappling with Thomas Asante to start with. The ball was then loose, and then John Terry style just sticks his head in, knowing he's going to get a whack, just to sort of head it away while he was on the floor. He just sort of stuck his neck out and headed it away, got a clatter for it. That's the sort of thing the Leicester fans will love about Wout Faes.
It's a great move at the other end though, when they almost unpicked the West Brom defence.
Yeah, it's been a real feature actually of Leicester's play when they have had success. It's either Dewsbury Hall running from that midfield area or Ndidi. Indeed it was this time, and Palmer did well in the end because it was quite awkward.
Palmer coming out again, only to be whacked by Kipre and then throwing himself to the floor. Iheanacho was in between the two of them. I don't know what happened there, but it's going to be a little bit of a delay, so we'll go off to some of our Premier League grounds. Let's start with the Emirates. Arsenal, top of the pile at this moment in time, take on Wolves this afternoon. Talksport's Ollie Klink is there.
One change for Arsenal, Sam, from their win over Lens in midweek. Kai Havertz drops to the bench. Leandro Trossard comes in for him. There are 4 changes for Wolves from their loss to Fulham. Out comes Santiago Bueno, Lamina, João Gomez and Ait Nouri. In come Dawson, Hugo Bueno, Doyle and Traoré.
Live commentary on Talksport 2 of Burnley against Sheffield United. A massive 6-pointer, John Dunn.
Yeah, one change for Burnley following that late loss to West Ham last week. Jacob Brun-Larsen comes in, replacing Johan Gudmundsson. 3 changes for Sheffield United following home loss to Bournemouth. Ahmed Hodic, Fleck and McBurney come in, replacing Boyle, McAteer and Sousa.
And off to the Brentford Community Stadium, the G-Tech, it's Jake Robson.
One change for Brentford from the Arsenal defeat, Mopé for Godos, which means it'll be a back 4 for Luton, and it's 2 changes from the Palace win, Kabore and Chong for Doughty and Townsend.
And he puts Leicester in front. Leicester break away and score down the right-hand side. The ball picked up by Ndidi. He gets to the byline, produces the cross to the far post, and Kieran Dewsbury Hall arrived late and nodded the ball into an empty net. Palmer was stranded. Leicester lead, and they're stretching their lead at the top of the Championship as a result.
Oh, they finally get it right. The build-up and then the final bit of play, the final piece in the puzzle for Leicester City. Talked about the success of the 2 midfield players. Well, they combine brilliantly. Again, it's Ndidi down the right-hand side, just about keeps it in, clips it into a brilliant area. Dewsbury Hall beats his man, nods it in from 6 yards out. That's just fantastic from Leicester, from back to front.
It's a really good move from Leicester. The cross is pinpoint. It takes out the 2 central defenders, and arriving at the far post, Kieran Dewsbury Hall with a header to tuck beyond Alex Palmer, and he runs over in front of the Leicester fans and celebrates with gusto. 2 changes incoming for West Brom. Josh Madger and Tom Fellows about to come on. We just wonder if it's a little bit too little too late for West Brom, who've hardly tested Hermansen in this second half. Swift takes it on, tries to play the ball past Wout fast, takes a little tumble. Referee allows play on. I think he's being a little bit too lenient, this Premier League ref, who's taking charge of a Championship game. Then Kieran Dewsbury Hall goes down, and the referee all of a sudden blows his whistle. And is he going to give a yellow card to Yokoslu there?
Yeah, again, something that Yokoslu said. I mean, I can see why he's frustrated. It was definitely a foul on Swift, who's excellent footwork.
That doesn't mean he's going to miss the game against Sunderland. Yokoslu is such a massive part of what they do. 3 changes coming in. Jason Malumbi, Josh Madger and Tom Fellows all coming on for Carlos Corberan's side.
I mean, whether he was thinking of the changes before the goal, I'm not too sure. I think definitely it's turned to 3 changes rather than 2 since the goal.
So Alex Mowatt is coming off. He's been booked anyway. Jason Malumbi coming on for him, the Irishman. Josh Madger is going to replace, I think it's going to be Grady Diangano, who's coming off from the far side. And Tom Fellows, Solihull lad who made 40 appearances on loan at Crawley last season, has not scored a senior goal yet. He's coming on too, and he's going to replace Sarmiento. So they've got quite a strike force. Thomas Asante, Fellows, Madger and Swift, who's playing just behind them. Swift now just organising and orchestrating. Fellows has gone out to the right side, Swift has gone out to the left, and those 2 might play a little bit deeper in more of a conventional 4-4-2. We shall see. Madger and Thomas Asante look like they're going to play as a pair of strikers. 1-0 to Leicester, away from home. They always win here. Justin clips the ball forward into Ndidi. Ndidi trying to nudge it out to the far side, looking for a Iheanacho. It's away by Semi Ajayi. Back down the middle it comes. Ndidi will leave it for Iheanacho, who's come from an offside position. And it's going to be a free kick to West Bromwich Albion. If you're West Bromwich Albion, is this the right thing to do? Just to change the system slightly and have 2 a little bit closer together?
Well, I think as well, especially with Leicester splitting into a 3 with Ricardo Pereira going into midfield, you've got a better chance then of your 2 strikers getting in between the 3 to cause problems, or trying to double up against Vestergaard if you win the ball back in the right area. I mean, he had to try and do something. They've given absolutely nothing in this second half in terms of an attacking team.
Bass looking to try and play Dewsbury Hall in. It wasn't the right ball, but the idea was the right one. It's come out by Darnell Furlong and tucked back infield towards Kipre. And there's a bit of space here for Jason Malumbi, who plays it out towards the left-hand side. He finds Swift, and Swift holds up, waits, and needs a little bit more movement in front of him. Townsend provides that, then tries to take the ball off Ricardo. It wasn't really the kind of play that you want in that area, Connor Townsend, with all respect. He's gone over to try and block the attempted clearance from Pereira, and it's a throw-in in the right full-back position for Leicester City. Did you hear that?
Did I hear it? I know he's trying to get some information onto his team.
Is that one of the analysts up there? Yeah, he's miles away from the pitch. I'm not sure they can hear you. I mean, they probably can, actually, because I think everyone did. Kipre on the halfway line. We're up in the gods, actually. We're sort of hanging from the top of the stand. We're on a specially constructed balcony on the eaves of the main stand here. Oh, and here Nacho might get here ahead of Semi Ajayi. He doesn't. Ajayi just put the accelerator on at the last moment as the ball was played back to the edge of the area and nabbed it away from Nacho. There's 12 minutes to go before the end of the game, and West Brom have got to find a way back into it.
And this is where Leicester will try and be even slower with the ball.
Well, this is where it works in their favour.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It's where Winks, and indeed he might even drop a little bit. Dewsbury Hall can do as well, and just start to just keep playing between themselves and eke the time away.
Carlos Corberán is in close conversation with his coaches down on the touchline. He wants to formulate a plan, a way of getting back into this game. 1-0 Leicester lead. The ball on the left, it's collected by Casey McAteer, who tries to burst and then bounces off Darnell Furlong and goes out of play and away for a throw-in. The sky's still clear, the temperature's still Arctic, and it's collected in the end over on that left-hand side by Justin, who collides with Furlong. He sort of followed through and took away Furlong's legs, and a free kick has been given to West Brom away to our right-hand side.
Yeah, it's a good test this for Leicester, though, isn't it? I've been conceded late on against Sheffield Wednesday, being in the same position. Whether they can see this out or even try and get that second goal. Still no sign of Jamie Vardy, though.
No, and he'll probably be sitting there itching and desperate to get out on the playing surface, because he is, he's a potent goal scorer on this ground. He loves scoring here, but I just wonder whether or not they're just sort of wrapping him up in cotton wool. They've got a game against Plymouth at home and then Millwall at home in the next couple of weeks, which they will target for more points as they look to try and run away with this championship title. Hamza Chowdhury's just warming up down in front of us. That might well be Jamie Vardy, who's just come out to run up in front of us and go down the touchline. And I'm only getting that from the running gate because he has got tights, tracksuit bottoms, a snood, a hat, a pair of gloves and a long shirt on. You can only see his eyes. I think that's him. I think.
It is, yeah.
Oh, Hermanson's given the ball away straight to Malumbi. And he's tried to take on Fass, and Fass has got his goalkeeper out of trouble. And Vestergaard and Justin just have a quick word with Hermansson, as if to say, switch on. We're 1-0 up here. Let's not cost ourselves anything stupid.
Again, I don't know whether you can quite catch that. I think that is press, isn't it?
Yeah, he just answered you. He said press, yes. Ball loose on the halfway line. Flick forward. He's sitting there wearing a baseball cap, a West Brom baseball cap. He's got long curly hair tucked out the back. Pair of glasses on, studiously looking at a laptop in between, screaming the word press. It comes out to Kipre on this near side. Can you hear that from down there? You've been out there. Would you be able to hear that?
Probably not.
Here on the right side.
And you'd ignore it.
Ball taken on down the right-hand side by Fellows, who produces across the far post. Swift with a header in towards the near post, and it was blocked by Fass and sent over the top of the crossbar and away for a corner. West Bromwich Albion have it.
Oh, big fist bump from Fass. He knows that was crucial, that header, because it was hung up towards the back post. Swift beats Pereira in the air. And I tell you what, if he doesn't head this away, Madge is just nodding it into an empty net. It's a really good defensive header.
Corner kick on the far side, and there's 9 minutes to go. Can West Brom, who have been effective from set pieces and have caused Leicester a few problems from them already in the game, get on the score sheet here? The arc of delivery in towards Semi Ajayi, comes back to the edge of the area. Connor Townsend takes a touch, he shoots, and it's blocked by Winks, and it spills out towards this near side, and it's kept in by McAteer, and he just couldn't get the pass right. He was just too soft with his ball forward. And it goes out to the goalkeeper away to our right, Alex Palmer, and once again West Brom look to build. Swift playing the ball down the touchline into Fellows. He turns it back to halfway. Chalobah about to come on for West Bromwich Albion. Goes all the way back to the goalkeeper Palmer. Chalobah, actually, if I remember rightly, I think he scored a cracking goal against Leicester once for Watford in the Championship. It was a long time ago now. Ndidi takes it on, beats one player, and then tries to force it out wide to the right. And it's taken on by Abdul Fatawu. And then it goes back to halfway and fast. And again, they decide not to force the issue. Ricardo Pereira, who was forced to the floor by Yokoslu, has to be a little bit careful. The referee didn't give it, and it was given away by Swift, and now Winks has tied it up, and Leicester have got it once again. 7 minutes to go before the conclusion of the game. Adrian Durham will take you round the grounds from 2:30 this afternoon on Game Day Live, and then later on today the full-time phone-in, the Euro 2024 draw, and we've got Newcastle against Manchester United. Sunday session is live tomorrow from Manchester City's Etihad as they take you round the grounds in the Premier League. There's a lot of games tomorrow in the Premier League, and then Jeff Stelling joins the breakfast show on Monday from 6 a.m. Ball on the right side. It's taken on by Fatawu. Again, Fatawu stops rather than going forward.
Yeah, played it back. Great player halfway. Fantastic player. I mean, this is the time to do it, though. You've got that one goal lead. If it's not on to maybe play it in towards Iheanacho, then that is the time to do it. Early on, it didn't feel right, but now, indeed, he's getting so much space.
Oh, he's got loads of space, and he's charging forward now, but he's picked the wrong pass, and it's tucked away by Kipre. And West Brom are 15 points up on where they are last season. They were 23rd at this stage of the campaign, so things are a lot better. And when you look at the period of Carlos Corberan's reign, the amount of points that he's taken over that year that he's been in charge, year and a month or so that he's been in charge, has been particularly impressive. And every now and again they do manage to come up with late goals, but so do Leicester. Leicester have scored 14 goals in the final 15 minutes of games in the Championship so far this season, so the Baggies have to be a little bit careful going into the last few moments of the match.
I think what it has definitely shown you is that, you know, the squad of Leicester is far superior to the one of West Brom.
Oh, cut out by Fellows over on the far side. Justin's giving him the ball back. He went running down the right-hand side, then into a bit of a cul-de-sac. Tries to play it for Thomas Asante to chase into the box, but he's going to run off the turf and into the arms of Hermanson down the left side of the 6-yard box, and he'll pick it up. Casadei also coming on for Leicester. Chalobah coming on for West Brom, but there are only 5 minutes left in the football match here at the Hawthorns. And there's a poor crossfield ball this time by Dewsbury Hall, which is cut out by Townsend, and Swiftwell will turn and run the ball down the left touchline, looking to try and find a way through for West Brom. He turns it forward, looking to spread the play to the right. Fellows is not going to get there, and it goes out of play, and here's the change. Well, Connor Townsend is coming off. No, he's coming over towards the near touchline to have a word with Corberan. It's actually Yokoslu who's coming off, and Chalobah who's coming on. And it's Casadei coming on for Leicester, although we haven't got confirmation of who he's going to replace yet. In fact, they're going to delay that substitution momentarily. And we'll wait and see who he comes on for in just a few moments. But it's Chalobah for Yokoslu. Yokoslu was booked a few moments ago. A bit of a knee issue recently. Chalobah, he's back on the field of play now. Ball loose in midfield. Chalobah will win it here. He's got a bit of space to come forward into. He plays it left instead. Chalobah again looks up, sprints the play out towards the right hand side, taken down towards the edge of the penalty area, and Fellows tries to cut infield, but it's nudged away, and Ndidi then helps it forward. McAteer's not going to get there ahead of Semi Ajayi. That's going to go straight out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in just short of the halfway line. And now here is the change, and that change sees Ndidi come off for Casadei. I'm a bit surprised by that.
Yeah, so am I. I mean, Ndidi's been excellent in that position. I mean, Casadei has played sort of as the right-hand side midfield player. So again, whether it's just a bit of protection for Ndidi, or whether Dewsbury Hall might drop and maybe play two midfielders in front of the back four and Casadei more as a 10 possibly.
We'll see. There's only 3 minutes to go though. Ndidi with a few fist pumps. He created the goal that at this moment in time is going to yield all 3 points for Leicester City. That start to the season that they've had was the most points, the most wins that they've had after 18 games of a league season in the club history. So even though they've had a little bit of a wobble in recent weeks, stats don't get better and starts don't get better than the one that Leicester City have made this campaign. Now they can build on it, and they will hope that they don't throw away this lead. And they might need to build up a bit of a lead, because Ndidi's one of those who's going to go away to the AFCON when it comes around in February. They're going to lose 4 players to that. That's why they need such a big squad. Vestergaard clears from the edge of his own penalty area, and Thomas Asante a little bit guilty of not picking the right pass. It's the start of a busy period for both. The Baggies are in their 3rd game in 38 days. Looks like Adam Reach and Daryl Dike could be back in the not too distant future, but it's more immediate danger they're facing here. They want to get back in this game. A long throw from the far side. Furlong forward towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's just in away. It's back in by Swift. He drops inside the penalty. Semi Ajayi was almost there, and Kipray was, and it's tapped home by Josh Madger. Josh Madger with the last touch to get West Bromwich Albion back on terms. A proper scramble inside the box in front of the Birmingham Road end. Kipray got there first, Madger got there second, and that was the telling touch that equalises for West Bromwich Albion in the dying embers of the game. The 89th minute up on the clock, and somehow from somewhere they scramble it home.
Well, that's exactly why you use the long throw, to cause absolute chaos. And that's exactly what West Brom did. It was headed out initially, they just nodded it back in. A little flick on from Kipray. Ajayi caused the problems. Madger takes a brilliant touch, by the way. In all that chaos in the box, he takes a lovely cushion touch with the inside of his foot before poking it home past the goalkeeper. They've not really deserved it in the second half. But once again, Leicester have conceded late.
Oh dear. Leicester, who conceded late against Sheffield Wednesday, have conceded late against West Bromwich Albion, and they've dropped another 2 points. It'll be 4 points in a matter of days for Enzo Maresca, and both of them happening very late on in the game. And now all of a sudden West Brom feel as if there's a chance they might steal all 3 points here. Enzo Maresca nervously just goes over to Jeff Eltringham and asks him how long. And the long throw's coming in again here, Dean.
Why not? Just do exactly the same again. Keep it alive in there.
Again, it's those high balls into the box which Leicester have struggled with all day today. Here it comes from Darnell Furlong, away on the right, into the near post, away this time by Justin. And then it bounces out again for McAteer to look to clear. Dewsbury Hall hoists it to the halfway line, and Alex Palmer will toss this one back in. There's 1 or 2 of them that are offside though. 5 minutes of added time.
Yeah. Just got to try and keep their composure. Now Leicester, there's no reason why they can't score again as well with the players that they've still got on the pitch. I tell you who is happy, Sam.
The analyst down there. He threw his chair into the air. I thought he was going to knock out Carl, our producer. The hat came off and everything.
He'll claim it, I think. He'll claim it was him.
Did it come from the press? That's the big question. Swift tries to keep it on the near touchline. He manages to do just that. It's hoisted out to the right hand side, and Fellows is chasing with Justin. He pushed him in the back. Free kick given to Leicester City in the left full-back position. 1-1 the score on Talksport. Josh Madger with the goal. Only, would you believe, his first goal for West Bromwich Albion. Not started or scored for them so far. The last goal that he scored in English football was in February 2022 for Stoke. He's on the mark for West Brom here. Casadei into the penalty area as they try to bring the ball clear. West Brom. It's taken out over on the far side by Malumbi, who gets it up to the halfway line. Dewsbury Hall wins it back again. Comes back in field to Winks. Winks looks up. Can he play it forward? Well, he's actually run the ball about 30 yards, and he's poked it now into Iheanacho, who wasn't aware that the ball was coming towards him, which is ridiculous because it was only ever going to go in one place, and it's cleared away by West Brom.
Yeah, he's not been that sharp today, has he, Iheanacho? When those opportunities have come around, he's not been alert enough to them.
.92 gone, and those who stayed in the cold to watch the last few moments have been rewarded with a West Brom equaliser. Will they get further reward for their patience? The ball clipped high into the air by Alex Palmer, away by Casadei. It's won by Chalobah. And then out to the left, the substitutions have made a difference for Corberan. Here is Josh Madger, edge of the area, plays it square, comes back to Malumbi. Out wide it goes now to Fellows, who slips on the turf and then gets up and beats Casey McAteer towards the far post, down to Swift, juggles with it, needs to come in field, took too many touches, and Pereira pinched it off his toes and took it out to the right full-back position for Leicester, and just about managed to scramble it away. They want to get it moving again, though. They feel as if the momentum is with them. Swift runs over to take the throw, but Furlong's come from the other side because he wants to pummel this into the box, torpedo this into the box from this near side. And there are 6 to aim at inside the area. Everyone back for Leicester to try and hold on. 94th minute of the game. It's thrown in by Furlong, deep towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Vestergaard away. Iheanacho can't hold on to it. Now he's won it, and Winks is steaming through. And Dewsbury Hall's got the whole half to himself, and he runs up to the goalkeeper, slips into Harry Winks, and Leicester win it in stoppage time. Enzo Maresca runs onto the pitch. The substitutes spill off the bench, and a breakaway goal from a long Darnell Furlong throw-in is converted in the end by Harry Winks, and Leicester are going to stretch their lead at the top of the Championship. Harry Winks with the final touch. A brilliant breakaway goal. Only his second goal of the season, and that is real damage to West Bromwich Albion in the last few seconds of the game.
Oh, how naive is this from West Bromwich Albion? I know that they're trying desperately to get that winner, but they've left themselves so exposed. How on earth does Keenan Dewsbury Hall able just to waltz through completely unmarked from the halfway line? He runs all the way through, and he could have taken this on himself. He doesn't. He just sees his teammate Harry Winks to his right hand side. He lays it off to Harry Winks, who just side foots it home for the winner. Unbelievable. The atmosphere in this place has just been sucked out by Leicester City.
The 95th minute of the game, and Harry Winks has scored the goal, which surely wins it for Leicester City. 3 more points on the road back to the Premier League for Leicester City. That's how they will see it, and it is the mark of champions when you're under the cosh to manage to get all 3 points in such dramatic circumstances, Dean.
Well, I think they were alert to it. That's the thing, when you've got players such as Iheanacho, Dewsbury Hall, Winks, you know, they're bright players. They've still got to defend another long throw, though.
It's their 15th goal in the final quarter of an hour of matches in the Championship this season. And we did say to you that although the Baggies like a late goal, so do Leicester. The goalkeeper's come up for this long throw. Palmer goes towards it. He's come charging into the box. Furlong manages to get it into the near post. It goes out again, and there'll be another throw-in over on the far side. And Furlong's going to whip this one in. It goes back to the edge of the penalty area, and then it's tossed into the box. Palmer gets out of the way because he thought someone was behind him, and they've managed to clear it out to the far side. And now Winks can break, and there's no goalkeeper at the other end. Thomas Asante is going to get back in front of Dewsbury Hall, and it's out for a throw into Leicester, and Dewsbury Hall's gone over to the supporters and he's encouraged them to get behind his team. We've played 96 and a bit minutes now. The referee about to blow the full-time whistle, and there it is. Wobble, what wobble? Leicester City get back to winning ways in the Championship thanks to a dramatic 95th minute winner from Harry Winks to inflict West Brom's first defeat here since September. It was a stunning late breakaway, which Harry Winks celebrates in front of the Smethwick end with the crowded Leicester support at the front of the stand. They know that they've got 3 points, snatched 3 points from the jaws actually of defeat, because there was a moment at the other end where they thought they might concede. But it's a brilliant, brilliant win for Enzo Maresca after a tough test given to them by the Baggies. It means now that at least for this afternoon, Leicester have a 4-point lead at the top of the Championship, and West Brom's charge into the top 6 just hits its first bump in the road. It's finished at the Hawthorns. West Bromwich Albion 1, Leicester 2.
Well, the Gobby Baggies analyst has piped right down now, hasn't he? He voted himself manager of the month, and now he's just slipped away. He didn't envisage that. Steen, Ashton. Is it just the case that West Brom, having got the equaliser, just got overexcited in trying to get the winner and left themselves wide open?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And you can understand it, because the whole feeling of the crowd, of the staff, as we could hear, just roaring the team forwards, and they just forgot. They forgot that actually you still need to defend the other end. There wasn't one West Brom player who had recognised that they were outnumbered at the back, and it was so easy then just for Leicester to play their way through and get that winning goal, and they'll really kick themselves, West Bromwich Albion, because it still would have been a good result to get a point considering they were 1-0 down, and they just got carried away.
Yeah, and if you freeze frame it, just as that pass is going through to Kiernan Dewsbury Hall for the winner, it's unbelievable. You know that a goal is coming. Harry Winks with the finish, although I wondered which side of the post it was going to go in the end. It went the right side as far as Leicester were concerned. Just before that, obviously, West Brom had equalised. All you had to do, the analyst, he may claim credit for it, all you had to do was watch Sheffield Wednesday's equaliser late in the game against Leicester on Wednesday. Pump the ball in the box, win the first header, there's every chance you're going to score. It was almost a carbon copy.
Yeah, it was. I'm actually surprised they hadn't done that more in the whole game, that long throw from Furlong. If he's got that as a weapon, he only really used it right at the end. But you're right, it worked for them. They got themselves level. The poor old analyst, he's melted back into his seat, because it's such a, from their point of view, that'll really sting, because you've done the hard work, you've got yourself back, and then you've just let such an easy goal to give up the game.
He was so loud though, it was unbelievable. He was drowning you out. I couldn't believe it. But listen, this says it all about Leicester now. 4 points clear. Had it stayed 1-1, Ipswich with a win over Coventry would have gone top of the table, but Leicester 4 points clear as things stand, with all those chasers behind them about to play. The Ipswich, Leeds, Southampton all about to play. So very, very comforting for Leicester City. But a word about Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. He's scored the first, he's made the second. He's still a Premier League player.
Oh, he is. I said right at the start of the season that I thought he could be player of the season, and I feel like that's justified with every single time that I watch him play. It's the positions he picks up, it's the inventiveness of the passes that he can play, and actually he's a goal threat. He's more of a goal threat than I thought he was. That's a terrific goal, timing his run, making that header, and then obviously he's so unselfish, knowing that the exact right thing to do was put it on a plate for Winks, who slid it home just about. But that's the type of player he is. He knows what is best for himself and the team.
He does. Dean, enjoyed your company today. Thank you very much. Leicester with that late winner from Harry Winks. West Brom 1, Leicester City 2. Leicester, as I say, 4 points clear at the top of the table. They'll stay there this weekend. West Bromwich Albion stay in 5th, but if Hull City win, then they go above West Brom into 5th place.